Hi, I'm Danny Butler, and welcome back to the iconic mobility resort Motegi as we start a brand new day for the TrialGP and TrialGP women here on FIM-moto.tv. The 2024 season started once again in Japan with an intense day of drama and high-octane action on the Saturday, that is. As the greatest rider of all time, Tony Bow started his championship campaign with another GP class win at the home of Honda. However, the team at Gas had a rough day with their bike having extreme mechanical issues. Whereas in the TrialGP women's class, we saw a tough start to the day for Emma Bristow, who looked to be on the back foot to her rival Berta Abayan. However, the Queen of TrialGP was able to turn things around with ease, showing she is here to stay once more. As we join the action from today's trial, Jaime Bustow's bike was back to its working ways, but we're not sure if he is just yet. But it's Oelschlegel that has been putting in today's surprise performance. It's going to be one hell of a ride in 2024, and I'm sure that we'll be able to keep you up to date with all the action here on FIM-moto.tv. The person who's got all of the updates is, of course, the lovely Marieta Evans, who will be going to live right about now.
Well, welcome back to Motegi. If you watched the yesterday's press conference, which, by the way, you can rewatch on the FIM YouTube channel, then you will hear all of the riders saying how much they enjoy now doing their sections because they don't have to worry anymore about the non-stop rule and they can really explore and explode their riding skills to the maximum. And we are seeing that is really changing things out there. Now, while Berta Abayan and Tony Bow are currently leading lap 1, let's have a look at the provisional championship standings.
So there we have the Tesla Rotec TrialGP Women Championship standings, with Emma Bristow atop of the table from yesterday's win in front of Andrea Sofia Rubino, who was very shocked to come in second. From Berta Abayan, Naomi Monnier, Alice Munter, Denisa Pechikova, Madeline Hoover, Alicia Robinson, Caitlin Adshed and Alicia Sawyer to round out your top 10 of the championship so far. With Martina Galliani and Alessia Bacchetti rounding out the last two positions. Of course, Galliani able to finish the trial yesterday, where Alessia Bacchetta had a DNF. Whereas we go over to the standings from yesterday's Tesla Rotec TrialGP of Japan, where on the first day, of course, Tony Bow swept those 20 points straight into his championship campaign, with Gabriel Marseille coming in second from Adam Raga, who was very happy to be back on the podium and celebrating his Sherco team and their hard work. From Aniol Jalabert, who's today's surprise rider, to Matteo Grassarola, Benoit Bincaz, Toby Martin, Miguel Jalabert, Jaime Bustow straight 7 points after pushing his bike from section to section, and Hugo de Vries to round out your top 10. So there we have the classification for the TrialGP women's class. We have the Queen of Trials herself, Emma Bristow, at top of the table right now, from Andrea Sofia Rubino, Berta Abayan, who's currently leading the TrialGP women's class today, from Naomi Monnier, Alice Minter, Denisa Pechikova, Madeline Hoover and Alicia Robinson, who was having a great ride yesterday and then came a little unstuck in lap 2. Then it's Caitlin Adshed, Alicia Sawyer, Martina Galliani, and of course on the end there, Alessia Bacchetta, who, like I say, suffered that DNF on a gas. I think a lot of people had gas issues yesterday, though. So some of the highlights from today already. So Alice Minter not falling folly to getting the bike stuck like she did yesterday on that step. As you can see, the terrain here in Japan always been dragged up onto those granite rocks. It's a very peaty sort of soil, so unfortunately it does get very, very slippy here in Japan. Don't underestimate those sections, and as we see there, the TRS of Pechikova flying into the air, getting some grip at just the wrong moment. Berta Abayan there to help, but Pechikova just able to escape a flying TRS, chasing her down the hill. Funny how trials bikes seem to want to chase you down the hill after you've let go of them. Also another reason why we have the safety lanyard in place. Naomi Monnier, though, riding well in lap 1. Her start to the day was a little calm, to say the least. Monnier currently sat in 5th, but making light work there of that step, taking that lone bike to the rear tyre. Two of the bikes that the guys are riding here in Japan, of course, as they fly out, are not their own. But somebody who was calm, cool, collected, and showing that she's here to battle for the championship is Andrea Sophia Rubino. Seen here in section 1 today, looking very smooth and very confident there. Making light work of section 1. Got applause there from the awesome crowd here at Motegi. In second place currently, battling on, but having a bit of a tough start to today. 13 marks lost in lap 1 to depart, Emma Bristow. Supported by Minder, Donna Fox there. As we move over to section 3 from lap 1, where Naomi Monnier is looking solid aboard that Honda RTL. She wouldn't usually be on the Montesa, of course. Over in Japan, though, all Montestas, apart from that of Tony Bow and Gabriel Marseille, are badged as Honda RTLs and not Honda Montesa Kota or RTs. It's the RTL, the iconic name for the Honda Trials range. As you can see there, a bit of a steadying or unsteadying dab there from Emma Bristow, uncharacteristically so. And also getting that flying step there, completely under control after yesterday's, shall we say, dramatic turn of events there, where a few people actually spoke to me and said it was the most dramatic crash they'd seen all day, but that was a cracking bit of riding there. Using the hill before the step as a ramp. As you can see, Andrea Sophia Rubino not falling folly to that unsteadying dab there, looking super confident today. The Vita factory rider really showing how much work she's done during the winter, working hard to make sure that she's cool, calm and collected. Looking extremely confident aboard the new factory Evo. The factory bike's often running the customary gold rims. But the woman that's putting in the rides today, Berta Abayan, who said she was ready to battle again tomorrow. And she's definitely brought the fight to the rest of the field. Of course, the rules changing this year. It's stop and hop against the time limit, so they get 1 minute 30 per section. And as you can see, Berta Abayan was not hanging around so far in lap 1. Really showing you that she's, she's in it to win it today, as she always is. Quick sharp Caitlin Adshed, who's also putting in a much better performance today, although taking that unsteadying one there on the very peaty, slippy ground here at Motegi. Just customary in Japan, what you seem to get is extremely steep terrain, and then as soon as that mud gets on any of the obstacles in Japan, it just turns into ice. This commentator has been lucky enough to ride there in the past. But Caitlin Adshed there with the bike absolutely singing. Oh, caught there. Great catch by her Minder. Seemingly looked like she was at the top of the climb. The Minder thought so too. But that's TrialGP for you. Things can change all of a sudden. A little bit of a wobble there. Monnier just trying to get around that corner where Caitlin Adshed dropped that dab previously. An old school style there for Monnier. Now this is a step that she struggled on yesterday. Not so much today. Obviously on day 2, sometimes you can see the scores improve vastly for the riders as they feel that they've had somewhat of a bit of practice. Just got to fire up that Honda now to get it to the top of the climb. No problems for Monnier, just a bit of an unsteadying jab at the top. But I thought she had a wonderful line there up to the right-hand side. Obviously the men's class going up the double step on the left. But Naomi Monnier able to, just get it to the end, Scott. not the place where you want the bike to start rearing up. At those Honda RTLs, or Honda Montesas as they're known here in Europe. Well, not the lightest, and that is not like the factory bike that you see Tony Bow on. No problems there for Emma Bristow, making light work of the climb. 9-time world champion there. Andrea Sophia Rubino here, working hard in lap 1, keeping those feet glued to the pegs. I think what she's definitely improved on from season to season, as we're seeing, is just her patience on the bike. And there was a bit of the commentator's curse. I tell you what, I couldn't have timed that any better. So just leaning her knee on the deck there, she would have been given at least the one for that. Aggressively getting up the undercut step. Lots of legs and still fighting for that balance. Reminder staying full gas. And that's exactly what she did. Oh, just touching the clutch there. She might have even been given a 5. The foot down and the rollback. There's Abayan working hard to keep those feet glued to the pegs there. Oh, she is a different beast today. Only 2 marks dropped on her first lap against the Bristow's 13 with rides like this. Look at that. Solid. So there's some of the highlights from your lap 1 of the TrialGP Women's. And their standings after lap 1. Berta Abayan 2 miles across to a considerable gap between her and Emma Bristow today to Andrea Sophia Rubino, who's only 2 marks behind Bristow. Alice Minter putting in a better ride on her first lap today. Flying 4th from 5th, Naomi Monnier. So Minter chasing the podium and Rubino chasing 2nd. Then it's Denisa Petrikova, who recovered after that nasty crash in section 2 on 31, from 31 to Adshed, double pegging from 6 and 7, to Bachetta, who's been able to put in a much better ride now that her bike's working, against Alicia Robinson and Madeline Hoover, rounding out your top 10. Hoover struggling today, she had a much better ride yesterday. Then it's Alicia Sawyer on the 125 TRS, and Martina Galliane on the Scorpio. So the action really heating up here in Motegi. It's not as warm as it was yesterday. As we move toward the Tasai Rotec TrialGP of Japan for our men's class, we've got Tony Bow, Gabriel Marseille, Adam Raga, Annie Oelschlegel, Matteo Grattarola, Benoit Vincas, Toby Martin and Miguel Gelabert, rounding out your top 8 from yesterday. With Jaime Busto and Hugo de Vries rounding out the top 10. Of course, Busto spent most of his time yesterday pushing his bike from section to section, collecting fines. And then in the second lap, he had a working bike, barely, and was able to put de Vries behind him. So here we are, some imagery of the first lap here. A very shaken Jaime Busto, struggling to find any momentum. With Benoit Vincas calling the line in 6th, but putting a confident ride yesterday. Doing that Shirko to good use of that enormous step in section. This is section 3, by the way, which is the point where Tony Boo yesterday had a 5 here. So another quick replay of Benoit Vincas in that section, bringing that Shirko round nicely. He said he has been working extremely hard during the winter to improve his consistency in the sections. Shirko as a brand working very hard this season so far. The brand's already taken considerable steps to improving their results, including Adam Ragger's podium yesterday, and of course the win at the Scottish 6 days from 6 days ago. But yesterday was all about HRC, and although Gabriel Marseille had a little bit of an unsettling start today, as the sections have changed a little on day 2 for the TrialGP class, especially here in section 1, where yesterday they had to go around to the right of that rock, now they have to go straight up. But Marseille currently flying in 2nd as he comes towards the end of his first lap. finished second yesterday, of course. This man, though, firing up that massive step. Matteo Grassarola, the Vito veteran, putting in some fantastic rides today, although only sitting in 5th so far. Gratta always looking very steady upon his beater, something we didn't see when he was switched over to the Vertigo last season. Always willing to put in the time and the effort. If you follow him on socials, you'll see that this man is out all hours riding the bike. Huge lift there, almost able to get the bike across the gap. But can he make the lift? Which he cannot, he's run out of time. Of course, the time element, new for this season, over last season, because of the rules changing over to stop and hop once more. Or in this commentator's words, the real rules. If you have the ability to stop and jump the bike around, or you're just a better rider. It is a technique in itself. The technique which this man is definitely mastered. Yesterday, third place for Adam Raga, Jordi Shirko, dealing with the bike very well. I'm very sure that Enel Jardin is putting in that much better performance today due to the fact that he would have had a few words from his team. So of course, Jalabert took Adam Raga's job with TRS, but yesterday the man in blue and yellow was able to show all of the naysayers that he's not ready to retire and he is here to fight. Adam Raga, by the way, is once again sat in 4th place. Nobody could touch this man. Yesterday he was an absolute animal, a class above. Today the gap is somewhat closed, but yesterday he did the trial twice and still won. So let's see how he got on in lap 1 on section 3. As the time was ticking away, this last step, last double step. That's Tony actually got out the end of there with 2 marks lost. So, and here we swatch over to Adam Raga, making the most of those new rules, getting himself set up. It's a matter of safety as well, because the obstacles are so big at TrialGP level. Having the ability to stop, balance, compose yourself before you do something like that is very important. The riders have already stated just how much more they're enjoying the sections, the course, the style of the riding. How it's so much easier for the public to understand the rules. The way that it works now is you're able to stop, hop, jump the bike around, even reverse as long as your feet are still on the pegs. The riders have 1.5 minutes to complete the sections. Just like Adam Raga just did. Stunning ride there on section 5 for Raga. Clean in there. On lap 1, as 2, did Matteo Grassarola. As we now see the Italian posing himself as he fired up that step and did a quick burnout to clear out that Michelin rear tyre. Of course, many of the riders running the Michelin tyres. TrialGP level, leaving nothing chance, running the very best rubber, of course. Look at that, Matteo Grassarola talking about the very best rubber. That Michelin hooked up there on the right hand side of that second step. Stunning riding there from Grassa in section 5. You always say you need a bit of luck for a good day out on the bike, and well, he definitely had some there. Luck mixed with 20 years of hard work and dedication. Yeah, I think it's the latter. Gabriel Marseille able to match the rides of his Honda teammate Tony Bow. In most of the sections, only 3 marks behind him on lap 1. This year, Gabriel Marseille and his challenge to Tony Bow is shaping up quite nicely. Honda often say they don't have a number 1 and a number 2 rider, that they've just got riders. But we all know that there'll be that mental game under the tent, under the team truck tent. This man is having a much better ride today, Oelschlegel, aboard the factory TRS effort. He is, of course, their #1 rider. He's their only rider in TrialGP. As Jorge Casales was able to make the journey to Japan this year. And Oelschlegel there just not able to get the power off in time to get that rear Michelin to hook up and find the grip. Tony Bow putting in a stellar performance over the last 2 days so far. Although there, I do remember seeing that on lap 1, sliding out to the side, but making a fabulous recovery here. Look at that. I feel like this man just finds grip everywhere. He finds the grip, because here in Motegi, the grip does not find you, I can tell you that. So some highlights there from lap 1. As we see the overall standings so far, Tony Bow, top of the table once again, 9 marks lost from Adam Raga, who's been able to just squeeze in front of Marseille now. 14 marks to 15, Daniel Oelschlegel 17, so it's close to the top 3 positions, and then it's Matteo Grattor rounding out your top 5, finishing the first lap on 24 marks. Jalabert, of course, finishing his first lap also. Then it's Benoit Vincaz, Jaime Busto trying to climb his way up the pecking order from Hugo de Vries, Mikel Jalabert, and Toby Martin rounding out Kaz. I did see Toby struggling in this first lap today in Motegi, but we've still got lap 2 to come. As we get a quick shot there of Fumitaki Nozaki on the Yamaha TYE, which we do see some fabulous bikes here in Japan, by the way, bikes you just don't see in Europe. It's great to see Yamaha back in the roster competing. Our TrialGP ladies there looking absolutely riveted with what's going on. If they're not battling jet lag, then it's going to be the fatigue of all the effort that they put in lap 1. So we've got Galliani, Bacchetta, Alicia Robinson at the back there, and Alicia Sawyer.
どうだったっけな、ちょっとね、時間がかかったんですよ。タイムオーバーだ。全体のちょっとタイムのオーバーがあったんですね。
Bacchetta looks to start her second lap.
置いていきたい。まあもちろんね、時間の管理も行われているはず。
A lot of factory gas gases riders, of course, really struggling with fuel issues yesterday. As a lot of people saw across social media last night, obviously that video of Jaime Busto's bike simply seizing solid in one of the sections. There was chat of a difference in the fuel, of course, in Japan, the ethanol levels, etc. But this commentator is aware that Repsol Honda, by the way, bought all of their own fuel with them, which I expect Gas would have done the same. Let's be honest, we don't leave anything to chance. So the problems were team-wide across Gas. Jack Dance in Trial 2 was also unable to finish his day. Believe it or not, Gas's success yesterday came from the electric bike, obviously not needing any fuel. Where we saw history remade, Sandra Hager was able to put the first ever TrialGP Trial 2 class win under an electric bike. Aboard the Gas TXP-E. Different story today though for lap 1 in Trial 2. It's Jack Peace and Asherko. They're at the top of the table on 3 marks on Sandra Hager. And then in third is Marcus Mempor, the Gas rider. The Austrian, of course. From Alex Canales, Joran Gulvaldsen from Norway on the TRS, and then Gail Chatagneau on the electric motion. And down in 7th, previous Trial 2 world champion, Billy Green, who also did struggle last year in Japan. So although we don't actually cover the Trial 2 class here on fim-moto.tv in the live stream, because we're bringing you the best action from the TrialGP women's class and of course the TrialGP men's class. You can keep up with the live results on trialgp.com. Got the very best action. Stay with us here on fim-moto.tv to support trials and the live stream. Brought to you of course by Aero, Hertz, S3, Gas, Ossit, and so many of our partners who without we would not be able to make this possible, of course. Talking about Trial 2, there's the Trial 2 Women's World Champion, Alicia Sawyer, competing in the TrialGP Women's class, aboard her 125 TRS.
もうちょっとこう森の方に向かっていくとね11セクションがありまして、その11セクションからさらに奥左側の階段を上がっていくとハローウッズの森というのがあって10セクションがあります。エンジョイホンダにご来場の方は今回特別にですね3つのセクションを見ることができます。無料で見れます。で今日見てこの間近で世界最高峰の走りを見て、いや3セクションだけじゃなくてもっと見たいなと思ってくれた方は、エンジョイホンダご来場の方はプラスお一人だと1500円、2人ならプラス2000円をお支払いいただければ残りの9セクションもね見ることができます。残りのセクション追加でお金払ってみたいよという方はHRC のね赤いテントが見えると思うんですが、あちらの方に向かっていただいてこう右側にね進んでいただきますとお支払いをいただけるねゲートがありますので、そちらでご確認いただきたいと思います。さあついついね遠いので皆さんお忘れがちだと思いますが、この後も水分補給しっかりとお願いいたします。我々の世界選手権日本グランプリ、皆さんこの後も体調管理しっかりながらお楽しみください。ありがとうございます。
Caitlin, very quickly, I know this is your first time in Motegi. How is it going for you?
Yeah, yesterday I was a little bit nervous, but today I feel a lot more confident on the bike. The crowds are amazing, and yeah, it's a really good venue. I'm really looking forward to the next lap.
Thank you very much. Good luck.
Great to hear Tom King. Once again, mentioning how incredible the public are. A lot of the riders celebrating the public and their, shall we say, involvement. The passion for trials here in Japan is always high, with the crowds always getting involved in the, shall we say, I would say the positive response to the riding is the best way to say it. It's not like cheering on. If they see something that they quite like in the section from the riders, whether it's a big step, whether it's a big gap or whatever it may be, you'll always the Japanese crowd are awesome. They're to be honest, they're incredibly funny when it comes to it. I've got to be honest. In the past, you jump across something or jump up something, and you can hear ooh, ah, that sort of thing. So we're going to be switching back to Marieta, who hopefully has got a little bit more ooh and ah.
Denisa Pechakova made her debut in the TrialGP Championship last year with a P4 on her first ever day in the Premier class. Danica, this is your first full season in TrialGP Women. How is it going for you?
I am really happy because this is my first time in Japan. So we will see how the season this year.
And which results do you see yourself fighting for over this season?
Now I don't know, but I hope to 5th position is perfect for me.
Thank you very much and welcome back.
Thank you.
Yeah, Pechakova, a great start for last season. Might be a rival to the TrialGP women's class. And obviously switching bikes this season, but excited to be in Japan, as most of the riders always are. We saw some great riding from Alicia Robinson yesterday. Hopefully she'll be able to show us a little bit more of that today. Currently sat in 8th place. Looked to be struggling a little bit on the second lap yesterday, but hopefully she's been able to put that behind her. Some good rides on lap 1 as well. 0.2 cleans on section 1 and section 12. Then an average of a couple of dabs here and there. Hopefully trying to reduce the 5s on her second lap. As we go and have a little chat with Marieta and see how her rider there is going to be feeling about their second lap.
Andrea Sofia Rabino, let's hear from her. Currently P3, yesterday P2. Andrea, come sta andando oggi?
Oggi direi che sta andando molto bene, ho fatto alcuni errori banali durante il primo giro, però non è ancora finita, si può lottare sempre per il secondo posto, speriamo e continuiamo.
Okay. She says actually it's going very well. She acknowledged she made a couple of unnecessary mistakes, but it's very close between her and Emma currently, and it's not over. She still thinks she can fight for that P2 that she got yesterday.
Yeah, at least Andrea Sofia Rabino there. With some fantastic rides today, and of course yesterday. Really showing that she is ready to do battle here in the TrialGP Women's class. As we see Maddie Hoover about to embark on her second lap. The USA's one trial export, shall we say. Trials, of course, ever growing in the USA. As we get a close-up of Emma Bristow's feet. That was a guess, by the way. It is Emma Bristow, yeah. All smiles. She's still got some work to do this lap, but don't count this lady out. She knows what she's doing. As we await Pechikova start line for her second lap debut. We're talking about Emma Bristow, we're going to be switching over to her, and hopefully she's feeling relaxed.
Emma, how did things go for you during the first lap?
Yeah, I had 2 really bad 5s again, unfortunately. I'm just going to continue to do my own thing. Try and go clean this lap would be a good start. So, yeah, just 2 mistakes, that's all. So keep fighting.
Berta is very strong as always, but Andrea is also very strong this season.
Yeah, I mean our classic can be really tight. So yeah. It's not easy to win, that's for sure. So, yeah, I'll keep pushing for this lap.
Good luck.
The Queen of Trials there, being incredibly diplomatic, but also at the same time, she knows what she needs to do. She's teeing herself up for a clean lap. That sort of girl, that's what we like to see. As we see Alex Minter awaiting to leave the stage, as she checks out one of the crowd members there popping and locking at the side of the stage. So Berta Abayan and Andrea Sofia Rabino maybe swapping notes. Can only imagine what they're saying right now. So my idea is I'm going to try and beat Emma Bristow by doing this. Well, I'm already beating Emma Bristow, and I've been doing this. Or it could just be I ate the chicken last night and I ate the fish. So being in Japan can often be quite the culture shock to our European riders. Culture shock when it comes to the food. Nice Minter there, she's just setting off aboard the Scorpio. The riders actually setting off in the classification positions that they finished in yesterday. Just the reason why it's Monnier, then Abayan, then Andrea Sofia Rubino, and then Emma Bristow. And it's all smiles from Naomi Monnier aboard the HRC Lone Bike. And of course, there'll be some preparation time when the riders arrive. Now you'll notice that Naomi Monnier has her hair tucked into her riding shirt, which is actually part of the rules. You're not allowed to have any hair trailing outside of the helmet or riding gear. Of course, for safety reasons, because it got caught up. Not a problem that many of the men riders have, of course. Apart from Benoit Vincaz's mind, so if you see him and peck out his hair, I'm telling you now, he's like a space pirate, that one.
I got options. I can pass it like Stockton. I'm spending this holiday locked in. My body got rid of them toxins. Sports in the top 10. I can put the ball in the end zone, put a bad bitch in the friend zone. This shit sound like an intro jet song, give me that tempo. Toe pull, here forward the shit.
So springing onto the stage, all smiles, the lady that's currently leading the day. Definitely a different disposition than she had yesterday. The fans here in Japan are always hyped for TrialGP. Abayan, a woman that's been chasing that Trials World Championship for over half a decade. Of course, when she gets closer to Emma Bristow, Laia Sanz returned, of course. Still rated as one of women's trials. Greatest of all time, Laia Sanz. Rode the Scottish 6 days as well. But still very much in the sport. But also spent a lot of her time now cross-training across multiple bike sports. And of course, a very strong competitor at the Dakar. Trials always a staple part of any rider's arsenal if they would like to be a well-rounded motorcycle rider. This commentator personally feels that everybody should have to ride trials at some point just to make them a better motorcycle rider, a safer motorcycle rider. Trials gives a rider the ability to have a much higher level of bike control, which can be taken into any sport. Jorge Prado, of course, of MXGP, is an extremely keen trials rider. A lot of riders in the Supercross also using trials for training. And of course, Billy Bolt, the Super Enduro world champion, came from trials. And let's be honest, within a small amount of time, made the rest of the Enduro field look like they'd never seen a bike. And Andrea Sofia Rubino, continue all the hard work that she's been putting in today. Can she put that beater back on the box? I'm sure she'd settle for the same step again. But currently lying in third, only some 2 marks behind Bristow, after Emma did pick up 2 nasty 5s. Without those 5s, she would still be a single mark behind Berta Abayan. So Abayan definitely putting in an incredible ride. But Emma Bristow on the back wheel, in good spirits. She knows what she needs to do. Nobody has to tell the 9-time world champion what she needs to do to win a championship. She's already done it 9 times. So, Chirico's diamond there. all of Sherco's World Championships. Titles are, of course, twinned with Emma Bristow, who is now not only a contracted factory rider, but also her and her husband James Fry are in control of Sherco as a brand in the UK. Let's be honest, if you cut that lady down the middle, you probably even see the logo. As we switch over to section 1 on the right hand side of your screen, Alicia Bacchetta aboard the gas. Moving that bike around, getting into position, of course. Stop and hop now back. And talking about gas, we're able to switch over because we're going to have a quick chat with Jaime Busto and Marieta.
Jaime, currently P7 after a difficult start this morning. Jaime, ¿qué ha ido pasando en la primera vuelta, sobre todo en esas primeras secciones?
Sí, la verdad que no he empezado muy bien. A empezar delante sin muchas referencias me ha costado bastante. He fallado mucho, sobre todo en la primera zona, luego he cogido un poco de ritmo, pero bueno, no he hecho una gran vuelta. Ahora intentar salir a tope e intentar recuperar todo lo perdido.
Jaime was saying how difficult it was for him, the fact that he was opening sections without much references. He collected those fives at the beginning of the lap, really shaking his confidence, lost a bit of the pace, but then fought back the second part of the second part of lap 1. He really wants to fight for better result in lap 2. Jaime, ahora que habéis tenido un poco más de tiempo de mirar qué es lo que pasó ayer, ¿qué causó ese problema con la moto?
Yo qué sé, no lo saben ni ellos. Todavía están buscando a ver qué pudo pasar.
Pero es como dicen, un problema de la gasolina, el aceite, la mezcla.
No tengo ni idea, te lo diría, pero no lo sé.
Thank you very much. Well, we were asking Jaime, now that they have had more time to investigate what caused yesterday's incident, if they knew the cause of that. He was saying, I don't know, because not even them know it. I was asking him whether he knows if it had something to do with the oil and the petrol, as some people said yesterday. Remember, even Kazakhstan said yesterday, we think it could be a problem with the petrol, but Jaime was blatantly honest, saying to me, I would tell you, but I can't because we really don't know.
Well, the plot thickens for Jaime Busto's start to his World Championship campaign. Not the ideal start, of course, for Gas as a brand, but they're fighters. They are fighters in that crowd, led by, of course, the previous indoor World Trial Champion Abel Kavastani as head of the team, with Jaime Busto, Jack Dance and Sondra Hager as the factory riders in the men's class. And, well, what can I say? These guys know what they're doing. As to Gas as a brand, no strangers to World Championship round wins here at the 2024 FIM Trial World Championship. Well, not just the 2024 one, obviously, past ones. Busto, one of very few riders to able to beat the mighty Tony Bow, including that guy there. Grata took a win when he returned to Beta from Vertigo. Talking about Vertigo, their factory rider, Michael Jalabert, after his brief stint away from the sport, returned aboard of Vertigo to put in some stellar rides last season, and is now their lead factory rider. Deservedly so. As we switch over to my guest being Martina Galliani in section 2. Well, it looked to be shaping up to be a decent line there through the rocks, but she just got caught up there on the Scorpio. Fortunately, the Scorpio quite a light bike to ride, so if you do have to put both feet down and physically pick the bike up, well, it's a good one to choose. I won't be doing that on a standard Honda Montesa.
Observe, okay?
Bit of a difference in weight between the 2-stroke and 4-stroke bikes. Also a difference in quality. The Honda machinery is bomb-proof. And now Caitlin Ashhead aboard the TRS, supported by Steve Saunders, of course. Getting a bit squirrely there over the second rock, looking at some. She wanted to try and compose herself. I think the nerves might have been getting the better of her today. George Gosden, her minder, full of experience. Star 2 British Championship competitor. Of course, just finishing up the Scottish phase also for him. So many of the minders are extremely talented riders also. And you need that level of support, that level of experience and understanding as a minder. Having a good minder is paramount for the success. It really is a team effort at World Championship level. So, Madged just trying to get that bike positioned, fighting on the pegs. Customary Jordi Terrace style leg waving effort. Oh, and just not getting that DRS through there. Coach Gosden having to grab the frame. He can take you grab the front right from that one point there. You would have known about that. And now, the man from Cherno, Tony Martin, just cutting off as we switch down to Marieta. And who's she got with her?
I'm with Matteo Grattorola. Let's hear from him his thoughts on his lap one. Matteo, come è andata la prima volta?
Dai, non è andata come mi aspettavo, ho fatto penso 2 errori di troppo, però c'è la possibilità di recuperare, quindi speriamo di fare un ottimo secondo giro e di cercare sempre di lottare per il podio.
Well, he says things didn't go exactly as he wanted or expected in lap 1. He made a couple of mistakes that he didn't need to do, but he's hoping to come back stronger in lap 2. His aim is still to fight for the podium.
All smiles, Matteo Grattorola. Multiple-time Trial 2 World Champion as well, Grattorola. Well, he's definitely cemented his place in the FIM men's class. And with Beta, of course, the Italian champion aboard the Italian brand. As we switch over to Denisa Pechikova aboard the TRS. Struggling to move it round. We switch back over to the side of stage. We go from a struggling Pechikova to a TrialGP rider that definitely had a better first lap than most. One TRS to another. We're going to have a quick chat with Oelschlegel, who had a corker of her first lap.
Anil, very quickly, fight for the podium today is very, very tight.
Yeah, for sure. I did a stupid single foot in the first lap, and I will try to fix it for the second one. So full gas and full motivated.
Thank you very much.
Man of very few words, but the words that he says he means. Oelschlegel, a young gun for sure for TRS. They opted to go with him over the experience of Adam Raga, but I really do feel like that really lit a fire in Adam Raga's belly for this season. As we see Alicia Robinson nicely control her beat through the start of that section. Tactically making her way over the top there, using every bit of the space to still near the pace. It's the Trials rider's prerogative to use the space. They famously repeated to Lampkin, to Martin Lampkin back in the day. Oh, that was looking nice there for Robinson. Look, this corner proving very tight. The TrialGP winning. Big cab there. As we switch back to the stage with Marieta again.
Things working very well for this man with his change to Sherco podium yesterday, P2 currently.
Yes, quite good first lap. Only really one mistake, and I'm happy with my riding and with the performance of the bike. So let's go and give it all in the last lap.
Thank you very much.
Adam Raga been very relaxed and very content aboard that Sherco this season. There was a few, shall we say, little teething issues when he switched brands. It was a bit of a shock for people to see him to move to the Sherco for sure. After PRS, shall we say, got rid of him in a surprise move, which I think it surprised Adam Raga the most. He thought that he was going to see his career out on the TRS bike. Well, I'd say that it may backfire on TRS yet. So move over to Maddie Hoover and her minder kind of to be confident. Right, that's good job. And then Mike. Jordi's riding extremely nicely as Gabriel Marseille, who's with Marieta right now.
Gabri, very close that battle for the podium today.
Yeah, exactly. First lap, and it's been quite close for everyone. So I will try my best on the second one.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Knows what to do at the home of Honda, but looking confident. I'm actually going to say, I'm just going to put it out there. Yesterday, Gabriel Marseille, you looked like one of the only riders that finished the trial and wasn't tired. He looked like he hadn't even broke a sweat. So we know he's been training hard. Finish a trial GP and just not even look like he has any fatigue whatsoever is telling me that Gabriel Marseille won. That's kudos to Maddie Hoover right now, who's done it one balance. But really struggling there, bring forward one step before anyone else would in this section. Maybe too quiet, and like I said, there's the pride. The man who's had no prize is pretty low. We're going to go and have a chat with him right now.
Tony is on a mission to deliver another win to Honda at their race event, at their home event. Talk us through your first lap.
Yes, the first lap is really good. Just some mistakes. A big mistake in section 6. With the rules, it's not possible back with the foot and just back a little, but it's like this. So happy with these 10 points. With the time, all the riders is very close. So I think it's a fantastic race, pushing hard for the second lap.
Thank you.
Tony falling forward to that same mistake that he made yesterday when the bike rolled back and his foot was on the deck. The Japanese observers have been hot on for that, so fair play to them. Of course, the observers there to follow the rules to a T, and Tony Bow petitioned hard for the new style of the rules. The greatest of all time, airing his views, of course, in none other than Spanish media, not just trials media, wider media, saying that trials could not continue going down the same path that it was going on. Nice work there from Alice Minter as I basically cursed her from that second on. Sorry, Alice. Alice Minter, somebody who I often see at trials of a weekend. Working very hard there. Only losing a single mark there during a lining up period in the section. Working the back end of the bike there. Oh, nicely fitting those pegs through the gap. She hasn't slid back at all, and she's pushing that bike. Her brother Tom with it. Tom, a fantastic rider himself. And she's not happy with that 3. She thought she could have done better. Tom's never the man who's shy to say his opinion, so I'm very sure she'll know about it from her brother also. Top guy is Tom. Talking about the top guy, there is the top guy, Tony Bow. A silly mistake it may have been in section 6 on lap 1, but 10 marks still puts him 4 marks in front of Adam Raga. $13 marks lost on the actual lap with a single mark on time.
It ain't directed, so it ain't respected. Stop dropping clues, cause I ain't on the tick. I'm trying to win. Don't care how I do it, just know that I did it. Why you so worried about what I be doing? Counting my money ain't making you rich. Talking down on make you.
So we have an incredible interview coming up shortly. As soon as Tony Bro embarks on his second lap, we are going to be catching up with Koji Watanabe, president of the Honda Racing Corporation. As of course, Sasai Rotec TrialGP of Japan is very, very much so the home of Honda also. But we switch over now live to Marieta with Koji Watanabe.
Koji Watanabe, president of Honda Racing Corporation, thank you very much for joining us. What does it mean for you, for Honda, for Motegi to host the opening round of this championship?
Yeah, well, we are really happy to have a top category World Trial GP here, our home market in Motegi, Japan. Really happy, yeah.
And a fantastic result for your team, 1-2 yesterday. How important is this for Honda? Your thoughts on the impressive level of your team?
Yeah, we are really happy that we have fantastic result yesterday. 1-2 finish with Tony Bo and Gabriel Marcelli. So I really appreciate our motorsport fan and the team and everybody cooperate together with us. So we hope again, we would like to repeat once again today to have 1-2 finish today. Yeah.
And we really appreciate you joining us for the live broadcast. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So Honda there showing their respect and the importance of TrialGP worldwide, not just here in Japan, with Koji Watanabe, president of the Honda Racing Corporation, not just of Honda's racing team for trial, but Honda Racing Corporation, joining us here at Motegi. As he's a fan of the sport, he loves trials, and so too do Honda. So really very nice of them to make the time to fight our small corner of motorsport. Trials through the ages and decades, wildly respected in all motorsports, all the way up to road racing, where riders like Guy Martin, of course, TT Racer, spends many of his weekends riding motorcycle trials, as too does in the week Leon Aslam. Oh, great ride there for a single dab from Andrea Sofia Rubino, who's now just going to try and get that beater out of the section, I was going to say, but she's struggling to find grip on the peaty ground there. The ground just falls away on the side of these hills. She won't be happy with that. 2 marks lost there, but she got the bottom half of the section incredibly well. As we're seeing the arrival of the TrialGP men's class catching up to the TrialGP women's class. Emma Bristow last into this section now on section 2, closing this section out for the TrialGP women. Emma taking her time though. Advised on by Donna Fox in Japan. Donna and Emma have worked very closely through the years, not only with Donna being Emma's minder, but also Donna herself being a member of the team at the Trials Des Nations, at the Women's Trials Des Nations, many a time part of a winning team at the Trials Des Nations as Donna Fox. Emma Bristow, class of her own there, moving that bike around. Really checking the back end. You can see her looking through her feet. Of course, the rules changed for this year. It's stop and hop, or as I call it, trials. The sport obviously developed throughout the 80s, late 80s. Oh, getting no grip. Taking off there, sliding out. It was just a little keen. Maybe a touch too far back. Oh, a single dab. Oh, it's 3 now. She's bleeding marks in here now. Now she just needs to get it out. But she just did. Shaking her head there. As we move on to Hugo de Vries, who was in the start box. De Vries obviously finishing 10th yesterday. Has suffered with a large knee injury. As you can see, he's rocking that enormous knee brace, the Frenchman. But he did win the first round of the French Championship in the elite class. So, definitely in good spirits and good fitness. De Vries
here in section 2, and well, this part, these steps, I think will be the...
So, as we have De Vries in the section, we're going to switch over to one of our interviews from earlier today.
We are here in section 2, and well, this part, these steps, I think will be the key part of the section. They have to go down, set up at the lower part. They will take some seconds there to find the line, and I think it's very important that they do well the first part of the step to arrive with the right position of the body to do the second part. I think if they can go straight to the second part, non-stop will be a very good option, but in the worst case that they lose the line or they have not the body position, they can stop here and try to start from here. Let's say do 2 parts, first part, stop, and go on the second part, and will be very, very important the traction in this rock. The back wheel right now looks dry. I don't know if with some riders going on start to be a little slippery, but to have the traction here and to jump to the second part of the step and arrive at the top will be very, very challenging for the riders.
So new for this season, of course, the section breakdown there with Jordi Pascuet, former TrialGP competitor inside the top 10 of many years, and now official FIM section advisor. Advises on the level of all things, and that man would know just rolling through the start gates of a TrialGP is a big deal, having a riding level of that high. Jordi Pascuet had that for over a decade. The man whose level is sky high is Jaime Busto. Aboard the gas, the bike which sounds much better today. Making light work of the first part of the section. You can see there is a level difference between the ladies and the gentlemen of the sport. So this was a nasty climb yesterday. Toby Martin got this best yesterday by far. Jaime having to slow down and switch lines, and he's completely cocked that up. Still on 1. And he's been given the 5. Sliding backwards with his foot down. That bike doesn't sound great still. That's right, Jaime. Best way, clear it out. So a tough ride there in section 2 for Jaime Busto. Just not getting the grip on landing, but like I said, Toby Martin yesterday was able to actually leap from the rock that was at the bottom, across the hole, refine grip on the hill, and then dig deep on that Honda. And he's just said, am I going to go for the same line as yesterday? And here we have Alex Wigg. Dishing out the energy gels. When the riding level's so high, it's difficult to eat. A lot of the riders opting for an energy gel or something easy to digest. A Minder's bum bag is a marvellous place. It's like Mary Poppins' handbag. So, atop of the table right now, only 4 marks lost for Berta Avayan. Overall, from the first lap into the second, with Emma Bristow picking up 3 marks in section 2 to Aveyan's 2. So the gap has increased. And Rubino is hot on Bristow's tail. All the way down to, of course, Alicia Sawyer rounding out the top 10. Such a massive score difference from the top ladies to the bottom, as too is the same in the TrialGP men's class. With Galliane on 56 at the bottom of the pecking order, and Madeleine Hoover having a tough day today. She did a lot better yesterday. And that was Michael Jalabert just entering section 2 as we switch over to section 4 now. And Alicia Sawyer shoving that TRS 125. Of course, Sawyer the only one opting to ride the 125. Also showing the capability of the 125 machinery, usually reserved for the Trial 3 class, of course. Nice ride there from Sawyer. Should be very happy with that. Currently in 10th, but she'll be moving up the board if she keeps riding like that. Easy to move up the board when you don't put your feet down. And now Denisa Petrikova at section 4. Obviously on section 4, on lap 2, we bring you all the even numbers. And Petrikova just dropping an odd number there. But you can see the size of that first step. And how much she's just had to get low and drive the bike up the climbs. The camera does not do climbs justice. These hills are steep here in Motegi. Working hard there, Petrikova. Great bike control right now. She has to restart that climb, ensuring that she gets traction on the back end of the TRS. That TRS gets some fantastic traction on lap 1 when it flung into the air on section 1. That's definitely the kind of ride that will wake you up at the start of the day as the bike chased Petrikova down the hill. Oh, great effort there from Petrikova. The bike actually bobbled just before the step, and she, well, that's the moment where any rider would think to themselves, it's either time to get in it or get off it. And she grit her teeth and got in it. Beautiful ride there to end out that section from Petrikova, who was cutting across to Toby Martin, absolutely revving the gut out of his factory Honda, semi-factory Honda. He hasn't got the full bike yet. Not very happy about that. Definitely causing some force section 2 in the TrialGP men's class. We have now seen a group of 5s across the board as we hear George Gosden say to Jiang to really drive into that hill. I don't think she even expected to get that high then. She got a handful of front brake, the front wheel washed away.
And again, it'll go from there, looking up.
Then we have George Gosden on the side of the hill, opting to make his way to Japan this year to mine for Caitlin Adshead, who's shoving that TRS up there.
Yep, back up, and again, one more, there, perfect.
Really getting her lined up there, George Gosden, that was perfect. As he said, he was able to retain that grip.
Over the back, yes there. Look it up, come on, let's have it.
Let's have it. Did indeed. A little bit too much weight on the front end of the bike there, landing on the stump. Very difficult to recover from that. 12 seconds to get out. Up the last step and out of the ends cards. Actually, I'd seen the ends cards there, but picking up 3 marks. as we move over to number 73, Benoit Vincaz. Always smiling, Vincaz. Had a wild child on his way up as well. That's all to play for right now at the top of the TrialGP class between 3rd and 6th. Just over 10 marks. It's only 2 sections worth of marks. You see Vincaz there, picking that bike up to 3rd. He will be wanting to land and dig very deep to get to the top of this climb, which he does with ease. That was a stunning bit of riding there from Benoit Vincaz. It didn't even look like he revved that Sherco, and I know how powerful that bike is. The new Sherco is by far the closest thing to a World Championship amount of power out of a bike, of a standard bike. So imagine what the actual GP bike must be like. Turning very, very smooth. So a triple step here into an enormous step at the top, which Benoit Vincaz absolutely crushes. What a ride from Benoit Vincaz here in section 4. Bit of old school now at the end. That very PT corner, you can see how deep that's getting. What a ride there from Benoit Vincaz, punch in the air, mega work. That's got to be the best ride I've seen in TrialGP so far this year. I know we're only at the first rounds, but you know, credit where it's due. That was officially a banging piece of riding. The kind of thing this commentator likes to see. That was mega. Able to keep the momentum flowing as well. There's now wrong with stopping off. But when the time's necessary, it's important to keep that bike moving. Part and parcel of the skill. Knowing when to move and knowing when not to. Ladies and gentlemen, Real Trials is back this season here at fim-moto.tv. As the rules have now once again switched over to the rules that are for the riders. And as one of the riders, I am very, very happy. As to the majority of people that are in the sport. And that was a smooth climb there from Ice Minter.
Make sure here. Yep.
Stunning work there on that part as well. Oh, just...
Yep.
That's almost like a panic lap, Alice. What are you doing? Of course, it's easy for me to sit here and commentate.
40 left.
Once again, the severity of the hills will not be shown on camera. Right now, that section will look like it's always on the side of a cliff. As all these sections always look in Japan. Whenever you see them from the bottom, the riders always look like they're literally riding at the pace and thinking constantly. Okay, another dap there, and as the brothers just said, use it. He's just been told by Tom Minter, you've got 10 seconds to get this bike out now. Ooh, she was cutting fine then. Tom Minter yelling faster at her. End of the day, it's all right stopping and hopping, but it's your own time you're wasting sometimes. The sport definitely has taken a step in the right direction from the technical riding point of view. Look at that, the men's TrialGP class is caught right up to the women's. Oh, and a steadying one there from Maddie Hoover. She won't be very happy with that. As we switch over to Annie Oelschlegel, standing that TRS up on the front wheel as he comes back to that rock on the way in. That's right, he was able to switch from the front wheel to the back wheel on a single point. That is new school style. Can we get a drive here from the TRS? Just the compression there on the hill. Awesome bit of riding there from Oelschlegel there. Looking intense, very confident. Quick burnout. Cleaning the tyre, cleaning the face of the tread. He doesn't carry any Motegi peak. Top 3 of the step, opting for a slightly different line, and you can already see just how slippy it is on that rock. I'm trying to clear the area from dust. This is going to be an enormous effort, an enormous drive from here to get that grip. As we saw Jordi Pascuet earlier on mention that it is slippy on there. So when Binkas carried the momentum of this 4th and 5th step, that was a serious piece of riding. Can Oelschlegel get back to TRS? The grip. And yes, he can. That was fantastic. Get that old school now at the ends. Keeping the grip on the back end of the bike. Great recovery. A great piece of riding there. And he clenches his fist and collects his clean. Stunning piece of riding there from Aniol. Obviously the younger brother to Michael Jalabert. 2 brothers in the TrialGP class. Trials is like a religion in their household. Is that the right term? Religion? I don't know. Cult? It is in my household. Let me everybody in now. Nicely making their way around the corner where we saw Minter and a few other riders lose a couple of slack dabs. Or as Doug Lampkin used to like to call them, a soft one. A dab that you didn't necessarily need. For some reason you would just seem to want to take. That one though, that was a hard one. She definitely needed that dab. She shoves the contestant to the edge there, trying to get the back wheel at the rock. As you can imagine, these bikes don't grip too well when both wheels are not on the floor. And if you want any wheel on the floor or any wheel on the deck, it's got to be the back one, the one that does the driving. Montester doesn't ride heavy when you're on it, but often feels quite bulky when you are having to lift it up physically. Not really a thing for the HRC bike, which are a completely different cup of tea altogether. Any factory bike is put together to a meticulous level. But the quality of the bikes through the year has ever increased. Now, a very special bike is one that you're looking at right now. Adam Rager's Sherco is the only of the new Shercos to be running a carburetor and not fuel injection. But it suits Adam. Just listen to him. Who would have thought that Adam Rager would be switching to a Sherco? Winding himself up there as we now go split screen, and you can see Berta Abayan to your right, currently in first place on a very convincing score of only 4 marks across the day. And keeping that bike on the rear tyre of that step as Adam Rager is just on the edge. Trying to grab a gear, up into second. That's neutral, back into second. And driving a Sherco up and holding it on the back wheel, that was awesome. Patience there on the back wheel. Patience is a virtue, this man's like a Jedi. What a ride from Adam Rager, he's going to be very happy with that. That was Adam at the highest of his riding level just then. The ability to know that the bike is gripping and have that level of patience before bailing out takes years of understanding. Decades, in fact. That was a serious ride from Adam Rager. Going clean in section 1 and in section 2.
Avanti, lavora ancora, avanti. Ancora da riva.
Now Andrea Rubino working that beater. In section 4. Looking pretty composed. Keeping the gap between her and Bristow. I've got to say, she actually did that step the best so far. But Abayan didn't go up there with that much technique. Sort of let the back wheel just crash into the bottom of the step where Andrea Sofia Ravino went up to the rear tyre. With a lot more technique in the legs, compressing a lot harder on takeoff, making sure that the Vita factory suspension wasn't doing all the work. And she's happy with that ride, you can see. Oh, the Vita is even trying to get away from it. When you showboat at the end of a section and then fall over in the finish box, that right there is a trials rider's prerogative. You know those moments where you're riding down a path with your friend and you look back to see what they're doing and then you crash into something? Ah, memories. As we look upon the HRC team right now. Brought to you live here on fim-moto.tv for the live stream of the Trial GP of the Tessai Road Tech Trial GP of Japan.
Yep.
Here in Motegi.
Looking up.
We now switch over to a lady that is not as good of a day as she did yesterday. A couple of mistakes in her own words on the first lap. But will still, if she finishes second today, she will still lead Motegi with the championship lead. Going into the second round. She will finish the weekend out on a first and a second. That is, if the drama doesn't ensue, it always does, as things start to heat up and the pressure mounts. But she's looking relaxed this season, Emma Bristow. Relaxed and content with her work aboard the Sherco. Nice riding so far here in section 4. Plenty of time, don't rush, shouted from Donna Fox. And I'm going to be honest, for Emma Bristow's physical riding level, the sections are rather easy sometimes, and it's easy to make a mistake when you're riding easy sections. The concentration has to be high, has to be through the roof. Talking about easy sections, not a thing in the Trial GP men's class. As we switch over to see Gabrielle Marseille about to put her HRC machinery into section 2. Just so you know, those HRC built bikes are 100% built different than any other in the paddock. And that was a stunning piece of riding from Marseille. It didn't even look like it looked like nothing. Absolutely nothing. As too as the amount of nothing that's now on his back tyre. 25 left. Marseille opts to get the first 3 steps out of the way, and then the setup for this second double step. Of course, we saw Benoit Bincas do this all in one earlier on. Stunning ride from him, followed by 2 incredible rides from both Annie Oelschlegel and Adam Varga. So it was 1:25 left before, now there's 35 seconds left. Taking his time. He'll need to go some time now. A long pause. 5 seconds left. Get it out. He's made it. Just unclean. The skin of his teeth. Look how far past the finish box he was. He literally had that bike wound right open just then. That had got to be single seconds. Single seconds to get that bike out of there. He might have done it by the skin of his teeth, but he kept the pressure on. Fujigas there, just measuring the measuring the width of a tire mark. It seemed, I don't know. It's amazing what minders and team managers talk about when it comes to the sections. As a former rider, if you keep your eyes peeled, you'll probably see when Tony Bow goes up an obstacle, you'll see Takehisa Fujinami, like someone's dad at a club trial, bouncing his legs up and down. I'm not saying this guy was invested, but I had the chance to interview him once at the very end of his career, and he said, I asked him, what would you like for Christmas? in a joking manner, and he replied with, "Another riding contract, please." That tells you everything you need to know about Takehisa Fujinami. Very much a journeyman of the sport. And that was a stunning piece of riding from Jaime Busto, looking more like himself. But the damage is 100% done this weekend. Gas have had a rotten time. Definitely different than the start of last year's season, where they actually took a win here in Motegi at the home of Honda. And it's just damage limitation right now. Currently in 8th place, Jaime Busto. I'm gonna be honest, this is not something we're used to seeing right now. Gone of the days of the Jaime Busto aboard the Vertigo. It wasn't just a problem for Tony Bow. At one point it was making Tony Bow look like he was gated. But since his switch to gas, Jaime has been, well, struggling. Now, a man who's not struggling, Tony Bow, who landed very low on that hill and then was able to just literally train the bike to the top of there then. Experience once again. So here we go. Tony Bow will do this in one, or will it be, no, 3 first step. Lining up on Gabriel Marseille's line. Really spinning up that rear tyre to make sure that it's clean on the edge of that rock. So you'll notice that he actually spun the tyre on the left-hand side of the rock and then lined up on the right-hand side of the rock, where it would have been a clean area for that tyre to contact the rock. Maximum grip on the back end of the bike then. That's the idea anyway. An idea that came to fruition very nicely there for Tony Bow. He's got to get it out. He's a lot quicker than Marseille. Always quick in a section, Tony Bow. He doesn't look like he's moving fast. But then again, neither does Jet Lawrence at the Supercross. He doesn't look like he's moving fast either. Amazing work there from Tony Bow. As we switch over to Marieta, who's having a few words with someone.
I'm with Alba Villegas, Berta Avellan's assistant. Alba, what can you tell us today about the confidence that Berta is showing today?
Yeah, today Berta, she has confidence and her ride is good, and she wants to win, and we fight for the victory today.
Thank you very much. Good luck.
Thank you. Madre mía, no sé qué decir.
So there we have the standings so far in the ladies' class. 30 Avellan to Bristow to Rubino to Minter to Monnier for the top 5 standings. You can see that Avellan's some 10 marks in front of Emma Bristow right now. Something would need to go drastically wrong for her to be able to close that gap. And Bristow has just got to stay stoic. Clean sheet. And then it's Petrikova, Adshed, Robinson, Vachetta and Hoover to round out your top 10. Petrikova put in a decent performance today. Better than yesterday, and so too is Caitlin Adshed. Alicia Robinson got a stagnant in her positioning, but then we've got Sawyer and Galliane rounding out your top 12. Such a difference in the scores as well from Avellan down to 12th position. Then it's Tony Bow on 10 after picking up a 5 on the first lap to Gabriel Marseille on 16 and 19 for Adam Raga, who's in the chase for second today, to Oelschlegel and Matteo Grattarola in the 20s. And it's Benoit Bincaz in the 30s from Miguel Jalabert, Jaime Busto on 46, and Toby Martin on 48, and Hugo de Vries on 53. Both Toby Martin and Jaime Busto, similar scores it's been three. Very much have been back and forth between those two riders over the last year or so in the season, since the return of Toby Martin and him jumping on a new bike, and Jaime Busto just slowly but surely falling down the pecking order. So we're back here at the Tasai Rotek TrialGP of Japan. A very muddy section 6. And Maddie Hoover just digging herself out. As we switch over to Naomi Monnier, about to embark in this nice muddy section, wearing pretty much all white. What can we say? No sponsors, Jitsi. Making sure they stand out as always. Just look at that. Absolutely disgusting on the side of the hill. The tape has been broken there hundreds of times. And that is some yoga-like poise from Naomi Monnier. Can she get back on the bike? Can she get the weight? She has. Awesome. Absolutely awesome. Proper 90s Steve Colley vibes. Oh, bit of a sketchy dab there on the way down as her tyre fills full of mud. God, we love a stretch dab. Great work. Winding up the Honda. That final climb. Can she get it out though? That's where Maddie Hoover just got stuck. As we're over the halfway point now in the second lap. Over in the land of the rising sun as this commentator sees the sun arise here in the UK. If you're on the live stream right now, if you've been watching from the beginning of the day, and you're waking up at 1:30 a.m. in the morning to watch it, thanks for joining us. But if it's later in the day and you're watching this on fim-moto.tv, thank you again for your support for TrialGP. Please make sure you subscribe to the entire series, of course. Show your support for trials and this fantastic coverage that we've now got. The FIM putting a lot of time into ensuring trials is shown on the professional level, as it was when I was a kid. Look at that. Stunning work there from Berta Abayan. The slaughter there. Finding grip where there was none for the Honda a second ago. Ooh, Abayan though. She'll be picking up 5 marks here. She's got no grip whatsoever, and it is steep on that hill. Oh dear, that is a massive turning point for Abayan. She does not need to be picking up 5s. Look at the lack of grip there as she just flipped backwards and sideways all at the same time. Backwards, sideways, all of it was going on. Looking up that hill in just a state of disbelief, Berta Abayan. Toby Martin psyching himself up. It's be a moment now for Andrea Sofia Rubino. Think of the mental advantage. If she's able to get that beater out of this section, that's be a bit of a statement ride. Flying into the first part of the section there on the beater. Opting for a slightly different line across the top there as well, keeping them tyres clean. Very smart riding from Rubino, as we now have 2 Italians on either side of the screen. We've got Matteo Grassarola on the right, Factory Beater rider and Factory Beater rider Andrea Sofia Rubino, revving her beater within an inch of its life. It's going to get to the ends cards now. What a ride from Rubino. Grassarola there, working hard in section 4. Rubino flicking around the corner. She's on the tape. She's going to catch it if she takes off. Oh, able to work it back there. Look at that. Faking the balancing leg there to move the tape. Love that. Big fan. Rubino definitely going out the ends cards though. As Grata works the back end of the bike up those 3 steps. Great work from him, as to Rubino. The Italians are on fire right now. Grata just lining up. He's tight on time. You can see he's moving quick. He's going to get that bike up to the top of the step and then turn left. Oh! Falling on the first step. He won't be happy with that. And now, Emma Bristow, a lot of bodywork there to keep the bike moving. She is going to want to capitalise on the 5 marks that Berta Abayan has just lost. closing the gap. Like I said before, it's not over till it's over. Emma Bristow's just got a job to do. And she's all about the effort. She came out of that corner with some serious pace and worked it with the legs all the way to the top of the climb. That was great work there from Emma Bristow. Hopefully not getting too close to the tape. It's on her boot. Look at that, she's literally stretching the tape. And this commentator was on the edge of his seat. She had to take off there very gently to make sure that she didn't lose any grip. She'll be happy with that ride though. A clean, raising her hand, pumping her fist. That's what we're talking about. Come on, Emma. I'm also getting some outsider info right now that there is a big traffic jam forming on section 6 thanks to Marieta Evans, my woman on the ground. She's definitely our foreign correspondent today, that's what I'm going to call it. Like an 80s news correspondent. Our foreign correspondent, Marieta Evans. So now over to Hugo de Vries, wearing that 111 racing gear, provided by Tadej Blazusiak. Of all people, multiple time Extreme Enduro World Champion, but also previously a top 10 Trial GP rider. The Polish superstar that he is, now riding aboard the Stark Varg team on the electric bike. But then again, we've seen a lot of people switch to the electric bike. Like the success of Sondra Hager yesterday, making history. First ever Trial 2 win for an electric motorcycle. Goes to Gas. Whoa, very, very difficult start there for Hugo de Vries. So steep on the side of that hill. I just don't feel like he needed to be a little more gentle there taking off. Easy for me to say, obviously, sat here, but you can see that he's on a knife edge there. Oh look, he took off way more steady then. Pushing that gas to the top of section 6. You can see why the queue's forming, because people just don't want to get in there. There is Marieta in the corner of my screen. Just look at the end of that section. It's really churned up as section 6. That's the end climb there. As we await the arrival of Annie Oelschlegel in section 4. So of the first 2 steps around the corner, extremely steep. So as it stands in the Trial GP class, Tony Bro currently on 15 to 18 of Marseille, 19 of Adam Raga, and Annie Oelschlegel, this man, on 23. So he's in the hunt as he works the TRS up to the sun. Not a problem, of course. Just rocking the bike back to 2 tyres and up the last step very nicely. And now Jaime Busto on the left-hand side of your screen inside section 6, on that point where Hugo de Vries lost grip a second ago. And a mistake from Jaime Busto again. Very unsteady dab. It's not his weekend. It's like his feet are allergic to the pegs this weekend. He's bleeding marked. Needs to fix that. There are plenty of rev in there to the top of the section as he wheel spins and gets caught by the minder. Another 5 for Busto as Annie Oelschlegel takes a massive line and opts to go rock up those 3 steps. And all the way up to the back tyre, Annie Oelschlegel is on fire. What a ride. We've just seen Greta Roller struggle and Annie Oelschlegel stomp his authority through section 6. Sorry, through section 4. And Busto pick up a 5 in section 6. Five more marks for Jaime Busto in that section. Definitely gives Benoit Bincas some breathing room. So we're going to go over to Albert Cabestany, who's hopefully going to shed some light on Jaime Busto's situation. Marieta.
Albert, what is happening with Jaime today? Because today is not the bike. Is it his confidence?
Yeah, I mean, it's been overall a tough weekend for him. I guess yesterday a bit disappointed what happened yesterday. Then the feeling is not there. He started in front and the first sections didn't run as he expected, and probably he was feeling down. We are trying to push him as much as we can. The goal today is to save as much points as possible. Look, I told him, that was my advice to motivate him, that Jordi Terres 1 year started being 12th, 10th, and then won all the races of the season. That's what we need to do. Today we need to save as much as possible, try to finish this nightmare, and ensure that we will come back where he deserves.
About yesterday, we had a chat with him earlier, and we said now that you have had more time to look at what happened, what caused that issue with the bike. He said, I would tell you, but not even the team knows.
The thing is that's the weird thing, that we know it's some problem with the petrol, but it's really weird because all the riders in the team use the same petrol. Some had issues, some others not. So it's been really tough for us to understand. That's the problem, that we don't even know. It's clear that it's something coming from the petrol, that it could be contaminated, but we can make nothing that when we arrive home, analyze it and check what it could be, because I mean everything was done properly as always. We mix with the proper oil, we make all the work as we used to do. I mean, we are professionals and we know it. That's why we are lost, and it's a pity, but we just need to look forward and keep working.
Well, as you said, a lot of races ahead of you.
Yeah, hope so. Thank you.
So wise words there from Albert Cabastani to ensure that he can keep his rider motivated. But we're now going to switch over to a quick analysis of another section here at the FIM trial of Motegi.
We are here in section 8 of TrialGP Japan, and as you can see, here are a lot of loose rocks. You can see it over here. Come a bit closer. This is everywhere sliding away, all those loose rocks, and it's very easy to fail in this section and to do a 5. As you can see, there's not a lot of gates in this section because there's thousands of lines how to climb up, and where you have to be very gentle with the gas. And at the end of the section there's a right turn. That means at this right turn there you are very close with the tape and you can easily break the tape. So this is another very tricky part of this section. So I hope all the girls will have a clean on this one, but it won't be easy.
So over to section 8 and the TrialGP women's class. And as we saw during the section analysis there, section 8 is no walk in the park, with the terrain being very loose, very difficult to retain the grip, keep the grip. Well, Andrea Sofia Rubino there, making a good start, good entrance into the section there. And then just picking away across the side of the hill. This sort of section will improve throughout the weekend, of course, as a clear line starts to emerge across the side of the hill. And the riders there maximise the grip, as too has Andrea Sofia Rubino just now. Very interesting interview with Albert Cabastani there, mentioning that he's trying to keep his rider in good spirits, and that he divulged a bit of his wisdom as well and experience, saying that once the mighty Jordi Terres, the 7 times world champion Jordi Terres, and obviously the owner of TRS Motorcycles, once started the season in 12th and was still able to win that season. So that day has come to us all, and this weekend is definitely one that Gas will be trying to forget, maybe, and how the rest of the season goes. There's always something romantic about a season that starts bad and then turns good. Everyone loves an underdog story. As we switch back over to the TrialGP class, a relaxed Tony Bow. Tony picking up 5 marks, of course, in section 3, and now we're at section 4. So he won't be very happy with that. But moving into 15 marks, Gabriel Marseille on 21, also picking up a 5 in section 3. 5 all round in section 3 it seems on second lap. So everybody will be trying to find their composure. As Gabriel Marseille gets lined up out of that corner, working the back end of the bike nicely there, using the bottom end of the Honda's low end grunt, and then using a bit of that top end grunt too. Now, we have a special treat coming up shortly, but Gabriel Marseille right now in the section working hard. The chance to become world champion one day. So in a second we're going to treat you to an interview with the prior world champion, the mighty Jordi Tarras, who we mentioned earlier on, who once started the season right at the back and then was able to spin it around. Hopefully something that we'll see from Jaime Busto later this season. But it does take a special kind of character, and Jordi Tarras was no doubt a god of the sport. The rules changing this year to the top and hot variant. Oh my, not making the top there. I actually thought he was going to try and wait that out. That was insane. Tony Bow rushing to his aid as they pick the HRC bike down, and we're going to be switching over to a few words from the mighty Jordi Tarras.
Let me tell you first that we have had just the first drops of rain. I don't know if it will get any heavier or whether it will change conditions later on. And yes, we're very happy to be joined by Jordi Tarras. Jordi, this year you made a decision of changing your lineup. You have been working with Adam Raga for many, many years, and you've moved to working with Aniol Jalabert this year. Tell us a bit about the background of that decision.
Yes, of course, it's not easy decision because we're working for long times very well with Adam, but you know he has 42 years old and we need to see for the future. Then also Adam is really very expensive for us on this moment. Then we try to take a new rider, young, more cheaper, and we are happy with this decision because we think Aniol have a lot of possibilities on the future.
A bit of nostalgia when you saw Adam Raga taking a podium yesterday with the new bike.
Yeah, I am so happy for him because he's an amazing rider and he have good performance, we know, but only he have 32, then it's difficult for him doing this.
And talking about young talent, in TrialGP Women, you have Denisa Pechakova riding with Tarras. Last year she was P4 on her first ever day. Talk us about her.
Yeah, I see here she last year and riding, and he are only 16 years old, and he have a good riding and maybe good riding for the future, no? And we are happy to help him.
Well, make a note of that. Denisa Pechakova, Tarras rider, a rising star.
Indeed, great to see Jordi putting his time into the younger riders, of course. Important to pick up, though, as he mentioned, switching to Aniol Jalabert was also a bit cheaper. So, what can we say? Good value for money, I'm sure. Somebody that won't be cheaper, Tony Bow, the greatest rider of all time, of course. He deserves every single penny he earns. But, as mentioned, Adam Raga is not getting any younger. Something that comes to us all, but right now, age is just a number for that man. Tony Bow there, not getting the drive that he wanted, and very quickly switching positions to the left-hand line, which caught out Retterall earlier on. Tony having a bit of a wobble up onto the rear tyre. So look at that, stepping in front of him now. Off the back end of the bike, firing up the HRC machinery, and out to the end cards very nicely. He won't be very happy with that though. A couple of marks lost there. after seeing Marseille, who got stuck on the way up, which has allowed Adam Raga to leapfrog Gabriel Marseille into second place. Some 2 marks in front of Marseille now, Adam Raga. Imagine if Raga goes P3, P2 here in Japan. What a statement for Sherko. What a ride for him. I've got to be honest, with him being 42 years old, I am 100% behind Adam Raga right now. I want to see him do well. It's a bit like the Chad Reed situation in Supercross at one point. He just wouldn't back down, and then, you know, they say a flame or a candle can burn brightest just before it goes out, but how long it can burn brightly for is important. Jordi actually mentioning as well during that interview that he said that it is a big deal that Adam is able to do what he is doing right now at 42 years old. So for anybody that's thinking about getting into trials, it's never too late. Because if Adam is riding trial GP level at 42, riding at club level should be a doddle to get into. Trials, of course, one of the most accessible bike sports on the planet, and one of the most affordable also. Stunning riding there from Matteo Grattarola as he climbs the hill and starts to make his way out of the section here. It's section 6. Bit of a traffic jam, I was told earlier on. And Marieta has also just informed us that it's starting to rain. And that will make a monstrous difference in these sections, I can tell you now. As soon as this dry, dusty, peaty ground sees a drop of water hit it, we are in for a treat. Especially as viewers. Not so much if you were riding it. It'd be absolutely horrendous if you were riding it. Adam Raga, also super retro guy, opting as one of the only riders to wear a full one-piece kit. The modern riders, they just don't pull it off, you know. So a man who has just been described as cheaper, but of course Jordi Tarras means less expensive. There's nothing cheap about Aniol Jalibert's talent. And when I say talent, I mean the hard work and time that he is willing to put into his riding career. Talent often a misgiving for a way of brushing off hard work. These riders do not get to this level because they were born different. They are always products of their environment, and if they're willing to make their environment one of a hard work ethic, then they can progress to a higher level. Throughout the youth ranks, talent is a great way of excusing natural ability, but as you go into the men's class, you learn very quickly that it needs to be twinned with hard work. Tony Bowe is the world champion and is one of the most talented riders in history, yes, but he is also willing to put in the hours, days, weeks, months of work. Tony Bowe, a rider that in his youth was famed for riding on Christmas Day. A split there from Aniol Jaliber, and you can tell even I was shocked. I thought that he'd set off lovely, and the ground here in Motegi takes no prisoners. Both minders look ready to catch. Even Adam Raga's minder will be ready to catch if so needs be. Look at him just digging that route out there, and now Aniol Jaliber lifting on his foot under the foot peg. He's got to get it moving. Oh yes, much better. Oh, he made the effort, but he slid back. Now he's sliding back a lot. None of the minders catching the bike, but that tree did a really good job of catching his bars. Oh, Aniol Jaliber losing his footing now. Showing just how steep the hills are here and how hard-wearing Oelschlegel. Nasty fall there as the ground give way. The bike actually having a tape all wrapped around him. Takisa Fujinami stepping in to help him out. All riders and minders always make sure they can be on hand to be helpful. Trials is one of the sports where, yes, the riders are against each other, but they're against the section first, and keeping that in mind is key to a successful trial. Watching other people is often a amateur and pro mistake. Taking your mind off the ball, essentially. As we're going to go now live to Fujinami, who's with Marieta, and I'm very sure he's enjoying his weekend.
Taka, such an important weekend for your team this weekend. Looks like Tony's comfortable riding to victory. The fight for podium, though, very close.
Yeah, I think so. Now is Tony very hard at work, and also like yesterday, riding very well. And now small mistakes on the last two sections, but anyway, have a gap and for second place. So yeah, I'm very happy to riding him, and also now Gabriel is close to the second place. So now a little bit nervous, but anyway, very happy to both riders and riding this weekend.
And how important is it for the team, for all of you, to do a good result here in Motegi in front of Honda fans at Honda home?
Yeah, very important every race, but anyway, this race is our team is very special because home is Japan and Honda. And anyway, first day and making a fantastic job. Both riders first and second, and today close to the again Lepito second, first and second. So yeah, I'm very important and very happy to both riders.
Thank you very much. Arigato.
So now, after going from a quick word from team manager at Honda, we're going to switch over to a few messages from our sponsors. So stay with us here on fim-moto.tv for more action from Motegi. So welcome back to the Tessai Rotec Trial GP of Motegi here in Japan. The action so far has been, well, thick and fast, let's be honest. We've seen some intense moments once again today. Tony Bow picking up a 5 in a couple of sections as well. Uncharacteristically, we've seen Jaime Busto have a nightmare all weekend. And now, the tables are turning in the Trial GP women's class as we're seeing problems for Berta Abayan with her bike between sections 6 and 7 as well. Once again, giving an opportunity back to Emma Bristow to put her Sherco on the top of the box. As always, you can keep up to date with all the action here at fim-moto.tv and also on trialgp.com for your live results as we go along. So if you're like me, you'll be following along with the action, along with the scores, as we've made our way to Section 6 now for the Trial GP men's class. Section 6 has proved to be quite the nightmare for both Trial GP women and Trial GP, as one of the sections that carries a lot of water through the venue. Here at the Mobility Resort of Motegi, alongside, of course, Mobility Circuit here at Motegi as well. Motegi, a venue that has been utilised vastly since the year 2000, only having a 3-year break, of course, during the pandemic. One of the riders riding here today, Adam Raga, would have rode that trial as well, the debut trial in Motegi back in 2000. As we go forward to Section 12 for our Trial GP women's class, and this is Denisa Petrikova firing the TRS up through Section 12. As she has been able to be looking to complete the whole season this year. Just select rounds for her last year, obviously because she was so young, only 16 years old at the time when she came into the sport. Or when I say into the sport, I mean into the World Championship part of the sport. All of these riders have ridden from an incredibly young age to ensure they're able to reach these dizzying heights. And tidy riding there from Petrikova in Section 12. Great work from her aboard the TRS. And mentioned by Jordi Tara's, minded by her father, of course. And you get a special mention from the guy that owns the bike brand and the former 7-time world champion. Well, you must be doing something right. As we see Caitlin Adched into the start box. And Berta Abayan has now slipped to second place, 1 mark behind Bristow. Bristow 2 sections to go. And the pressure has been on for her today, and she will be delighted if she can hold on to that lead now. Bristow is not going to just give away a lead lightly, especially when she's had to work this hard for it. You can see the sections starting to wet up as well. As the rain has started to come down. Big step now in front of Adched, firing it onto the stump. Gosden there telling her that she's up and to stay patient on the bike. Up to the rear tyre there, very nicely done, very clean, tidy riding there. Slightly different line now from Caitlin Adched than Denisa Petrikova. Right up the corner of the rock. Gosden just trying to keep Caitlin nice and calm. 35 seconds left. A minute 30 in these World Championship sections, of course. Stunning riding there. Nice clean from her. She'll be happy with that. Last section of the day. Currently in 8th place. And she cannot catch 7th of Alessia Bacchetta, who's had a much better day today. And that clean will also ensure that she keeps hold of that 8th place ahead of Alicia Robinson. And here is Alicia Robinson. I'm sure her family are watching the live stream right now. Very much so, the Trials family. dad, Stu Robinson, of course, behind many successful trials in the UK. Alicia now into section 12. Matt Dixon, as we said, mean it. And she did mean it. Just slapped that meter into the side of there. Really nice work there from Alicia Robinson. Very positive riding. Hopefully not too little too late. But even if she fives this one, she will still hang on to 9th place ahead of Maddie Hoover. Very nice there from Alicia once again. Matt Dixon ensuring that she was lined up perfectly. And she stayed on the line as well. Matt Dixon just said to her, really making sure now in at the end. Positive all the way through. Very nice work there from Alicia for the last section. And a wave for the fans back home. That looked like a face of relief there, finishing up. Of course, the Minders back again for this season, which is good after a brief pause last year, which was very quickly amended. The Minders are a very important part, an integral part of the safety of the riders here at GP level. The Minder are important at any level, in all fairness, in trials. Every rider should have the right to be able to make sure that they can have security and safety in their riding. And Naomi Monnier is wrapping up her day, keeping the Honda on the line out of section 12. Very nice clean indeed from Monnier, finishing her lap on 43. Not enough to make the podium, but enough to Alice Minter and Bay. Minter will be leaving here with a 5th. And she is also enough marks in front of Denisa Petrikova. So now it's Maddie Hoover. Was it a tough day today? Back in 10th. So again, she will finish in 10th, because mathematically she has enough points in front of Alicia Sawyer. Alicia Sawyer, of course, the Trial 2 Ladies World Champion from last season. Oh, just crashing through there, Maddie Hoover. Struggling to stay online. Not been Gass's weekend, has it? Oelschlegel Marieta, of course, on the gas, up in 7th. Well, Maddie Hoover. We relieved with that one. Bit of a wry smile. In her Minder. As we look across to Alice Minter and Tom Minter in section 12. Making sure now, Alice Minter's not scared of the tap, I can tell you that. Up to 2 tyres, that was properly making sure. You can see the riding level as the riders go up the pecking order in the Trial Women GP class. You can see the riding level just starts to escalate very quickly. A lot of these ladies all compete against the men in their respective national championships. Alice Minter in the same class as myself at the British Championship when I'm able to get there. That doesn't mean that she's a worse rider because I'm in there. It means that she's extremely good and I am very bad. Our TrialGP women's riders are incredible. better than most nationally ranked men's riders, which really does show the difference in their riding level and the competitive level of the sport in the women's side of the sport at TrialGP. So Iceman finishing up 5th for her today. An important point for the championship. Obviously she made the podium here last year, so a bit of a change. As we look across the flying entrance there from Andrea Sofia Rubino, who is on the same marks right now as Berta Abayan. So she needs to clean this section, and Abayan has got 2 sections left to ride. If Abayan has a problem in either of those sections, Abayan will be once again pushed back to 3rd. So all Rubino's got to do is finish this section on a clean. But the pressure is on as she rolls gently towards the end of the section. She can't make a mistake now. That end of the section will look monstrous when there's this much pressure on, and she knows she's done it. Great work there from her. All the pressure now is piled straight on Berta Abayan for the last 2 sections of the trial. She's smart. She knows. Look at the difference in the score right now. If you're following along on the live scores for the TrialGP women's class, Berta Abayan's first lap was 2 marks and her second lap is 25. She has had a nightmare. She's had bike issues, but she's then taken into the section, I'm very sure. And Donna Fox right now knows that Emma Bristow has taken the win on this already. Up to the rear tyre, Bristow is super confident right now. She knows she's done it. I'm very sure there's going to be some big celebrations right now. She was in 2nd after the first lap. Emma Bristow is about to take the win on day 2 here at the TrialGP of Japan. As we see her come out of the ends cars and take the win. Emma Bristow and Donna Fox, an unbeatable team this weekend in Japan. What a win, she knows. It's over. It is over. Emma Bristow has taken the win in the TrialGP women's class this weekend on both days at Japan. The perfect start to her season. We go over to Hugo de Vries, who's really caught up and made up some time, as we're now starting to see some of the TrialGP men's class arrive here at section 12. Just look at the size of that step. It is big. And Hugo de Vries showing how big it is. Nasty second impact there on the back tyre, really killed the momentum for the climb up to the top of the last step. So a tough run there for Hugo de Vries today. But Abayan still yet to arrive in the section. She isn't rushing though, she's behind Jaime Busto. Busto has not hung around. He has definitely started to make his way up the pecking order. He tried to improve his score today from yesterday. Jaime Busto to be back in the 9th position is just unheard of. But he's definitely put the hammer down in the second lap, trying to improve on that score that he had in the first lap. And that is more like the Jaime Busto that we know and love. Up to the rear tyre, stunning riding there from Jaime. But it's way too late. It's just way too late, we've got to be honest. They've struggled with fueling issues. That's more like the Jaime Busto that we know and love. High-flying bit of action there in section 12. So a mental battle for him today as well. As the team manager, team boss, Arik Abastani has been trying to get him through the day. And now over to Berta Abayan. Her bike does not sound very well at all. And she's had a 5, and that 5 there, and a Sherko that sounds incredibly unwell. That has just pushed Berta Abayan down to 3rd, with Andrea Sofia Rubino taking 2nd. 2 seconds this weekend for Andrea Sofia Rubino, and Abayan suffering those bike issues. Very sure that the Scorper factory are going to have to be looking into that, because the Scorper has cost her today's win. So some highlights now from the TrialGP Women's Lap 2. We saw Alice Minter work her socks off on the early parts of Lap 2. But what was quite a nice drive there, believe it or not, that was actually a good result out of that section. As she worked hard into section 6 in the climbs, but that did prove to be difficult. Naomi Monnier literally just snuck in front of her, but also found it difficult in section 6, but proved that her flexibility to swap from her own bike to a lone bike was something that she was willing to work hard on. And just her flexibility in general, let's be honest. And here we saw her rounding out her lap very nicely, reaching the 4th step of the podium. Berta Abayan started the day in a convincing, commanding lead. Only 2 marks lost on the first lap, and then the Scorper started to become sick. As we saw problems in section 6, which then led to problems in pretty much every section after that, with a lap of 30 marks, 35 marks on lap 2, sorry. Andrea Sofia Rubino, though, kept her head down, ignored the noise, and just rode consistently well all day. And a deservedly 2nd place finish for her. And this lady had her troubles at the start of the day, a couple of little mistakes, but then rode to an awesome 2nd lap of only 5 marks lost. So 13 on lap 1, 5 on lap 2, which is what has gained her again the top step of the podium, working with Hermine and Donna Fox and the Sherko factory on the top step again for day 2 of the Tassai Rotec TrialGP of Japan. Possibly the calmest looking person during a win ever as well, Emma Bristow. She knew that she just kept it together, kept her head on straight, and took the win for Sherko and those valuable points at the start of the championship. Emma Bristow, you're number 1 in Japan. So we check out the overall official results. It's Emma Bristow on 18 marks lost to Andrea Sofia Rubino on 27. 10 marks back to Berta Abayan, who had a nightmare 2nd lap at 35. From Naomi Monnier on 43 marks and Alice Minter on 45. Close there between Monnier and Minter. Then we go over to Denisa Pechikova in 6th position. Not a bad debut for her in Japan. The full season on 52 marks from Alicia Bacchetta, who improved vastly from yesterday on 55. Caitlin Adshed on 59, then into the 60s of Alicia Robinson and Madeline Hoover in the 70s, who had a very tough day today in Japan. Then it's Alicia Sawyer, the Trial 2 Women's World Champion at 2, Martina Galliani on 88 marks lost. And now it's back with the TrialGP class and Matteo Grattarola as he makes his way into the start of section 10. Nice big step at the start of section 10, which a lot of the riders opt to jump nowadays. It was actually designed as a bit of a double step effort, but many of the riders now opt to jump into this. And there it is. Very smooth indeed there from Matteo Grattarola. So 2 more large climbs now for Matteo. Obviously the first one, he'll be trying to regain his line here. Really working the back end of the bike. Setting up there, you can see how steep the bike is. From that angle, it is not going to be very easy to gain that grip. To get that drive out of there on the beater. Huge swing of the body as he goes. All the way back forwards. Very nicely, but just not making it to the top. And his minder having to step in there. Which we saw earlier on, it's not a surefire thing, even if the minder does catch you. Oelschlegel was trying to gently bring his bike down, his TRS down in a section earlier on, and then slipped and fell, and it was quite the crash. Just look at the crowds here in Motegi. And of course, the public in Japan getting behind TrialGP once again. And that man there, Adam Raga, currently sat in second as him and Gabriel Marseille are locked in a clean for clean, mark for mark battle across the sections right now. Adam Raga on the second lap has had a clean, 2 5s, clean 1 and 3 cleans, whereas Marseille has had a 1, a clean 5, 5 and 4 cleans. So on lap 2, they're 11 marks apiece. And here comes Oelschlegel, the man that took Adam Raga's old job. Moving his arm around, you can see where he had that big crash from where he got down from earlier on. And after Oelschlegel, we'll be introducing a quick section analysis for later on in the trial of section 12. Let's see how Aniol gets on in section 10 right now. After seeing Matteo Grattarola struggle, flying in and up that first double step. Just so you know, that is a massive step that they're all just flying up like it's nothing. If you go back through the years, you'll see a number of riders struggling to just get up that step, and then nowadays the riders are making very light work of it. Although it is staying dry right now here in Motegi, it would be a different story this section would in the wet. Slightly different line here from Oelschlegel than Matteo Grattarola. From this angle we are struggling to see the size and severity, but this is TrialGP, so what's going to be in front of him is going to be frightening. So managing to just get it to the top there, great work. You see the work is not over yet though. Extremely difficult ending there. Up onto the rear tyre on that point. Still got work to do though. And remember, the clock is ticking. And the new revised rules for 2024, stop and hop is back. To the request of the riders and the FIM listening and heeding their warning for the continuation and support of the sport and understanding of the sport as well. That was a huge step, which Aniol saved to the stump. Did he get it out on time? And then professing 2 marks. So as we switch over to a quick section analysis now on section 12.
We are at section. We are at section 12, the middle part. They have the huge step. They have a small kicker that they will help them to climb the step. They have to use the first one and the rock to climb, and the key point is to keep the front wheel up, because at the other part of the step they have a drop, so they have to arrive with one wheel to jump to the other part of the step.
So Jordi Pascuet there, giving us a real insight to section 12 as we see Benoit Bincaz make his way in and up and onto the summit. Bincaz again had a great day today. I want to say great, not great, but also not bad. Currently sat in 5th. We know that he's completely possible of and capable of more, but not a bad start to the season for Bincaz and Sherco in general. Up to the rear tyre there, a little bit of whiskey throttle off the top of there, but he kept it together. Woo. He just loved that moment when the bike decides we're going and we're really going. And Benoit Bincaz, he was at that point he was just a passenger. But Bincaz is often famous for being able to hold on to it when it gets a bit sketchy. If you follow him on social media, you'll see some some of the most insane crashes, especially from last season. Well, Bincaz there, finishing that section nicely, section 12, with some sort of easy rollout at the end there as well. So you think he is a BMXer. Sat down on the way out. There's heavy landings, but then there's sitting down through the ends cards. Now over to Adam Raga, who has really been riding the wheels off this Sherco. The bike that's had an enormous amount of time to put into it from Sherco to ensure that Adam is comfortable with it. And up to the rear tyre. What a ride. Adam Raga able to do something there that Oelschlegel did not. Oh, that was stunning as well. The confidence out of Adam Raga right now. Hitting that last step, and at the same time as hitting it, he actually was able to curve the bike round in midair and then contact the very top point. That was style for miles, this name from Adam Raga and the Sherco. All these years he's been riding red branded machines, and who knew that he was all about a bit of blue. Oh, and up to the rear tyre again there from Adam Raga. What a ride. Adam Raga is on fire. Absolutely on fire. Man of the weekend for me, no doubt. Tony Booz even picked up a couple of extra marks in section 8 as well, pushing him to 19. Raga retaining 25 marks lost as he goes into section 11 now. And we go to section 12, and this is Matteo Grattarola. Gratta currently standing 6th, and behind Benoit Bincaz. No chance of catching Bincaz either, especially when you're stuck on the stump there. Trying to get on there. Look at that, he's hanging off both ends. Both ends there. Very nice recovery from Matteo Grattarola. One big step left for today's trial, which is from a kicker that's very far away. This will make like one of those fantastic splat photos that you see on trials posters where the bike's basically upside down in midair. And there it is. Big splat to end that section. Nice work there for Matteo Grattarola. Steady and ride to start the season in 6th. For day 2. Back to section 10, where we're seeing Gabriel Marseille taking his time. Of course, time a major factor though. Adam Raga picked up a mark on time on his first lap, and so too did Oelschlegel. So time management is key. At TrialGP level as well, every rider does actually walk the section on both laps. They've got to know. Got to know what's in there. They've got to be prepared before they go in there. They've got to be calm, collected, composed before they open the throttle and jump and fly through the air. Nice to be calm when you're upside down. I wonder if that's how they feel in freestyle motocross. So Marseille going back and forth at the moment with Adam Raga. Just a mark separating them. Well, Adam Raga in section 10. Well, just marvellous, absolutely marvellous. Really, really good riding from him today. I feel like that's the understatement of the year as well. I did say really twice though. Now, Gabriel Marseille. Everything to gain. And second place to lose. A nice gap between him and Aniol. So he would have to have a nightmare to lose the position. So into that first step nicely there from Gabriel Marseille. Are we going to see the style and confidence that Adam Raga had? Like I said yesterday, Gabriel Marseille has been working for it. Takehisa Fujinami at the bottom of the section. 2 HRC branded minders at the top. And Tony Bow behind him. Oh, there we go. The pressure. He's got to put that down now. He's really going to get himself lined up. He's on a knife edge though. Look at that. Literally rubbing the tyre on the tape there, on the marker as well. Oh, as that tape is under that tyre. Great work from Gabby though, up to the top. Marseille, a single mark, like I say, but oh, holding it on the back tyre there as well on that point. Sterling effort here from Marseille. He's got to stay composed if he wants to put Adam Raga off his game. Raga's mental strength and experience is the thing that's going to shine through here. And Marseille has picked up a 5. Raga is going to take second. You can see it coming. Writing's on the wall. The younger riders cannot handle Raga's level of experience and a mind that's like a steel trap. And there's Aniol Jalabert struggling to get up the big step in section 12. One that we've just seen Benoit Bincaz wheelie over the top of mid-air. So I just feel like Aniol didn't really have the most amount of go when he came out of there then. No matter, he secured 4th. Still a good ride, still a good start to the season for him. And he's put the work in. You can see he's wearing quite a large amount of the section. So Jordi Tavares there stops and greets him, shakes his hand. A job well done. And now Adam Raga looking really very chilled out. He's put the work in, he's put the time in. 42 years old. A little whistle there from the observer because Adam was roughing up the ground. And the observers don't like that. Not Adam's first rodeo though, he won't be bothered. And now Tony Bow into section 10. As we await the arrival into section 12. After that 5, by the way, and Marseille, Adam Raga is guaranteed second. Raga's got 1 section to go. The cleaning, section 11. Tony Bow now lining that HRC machinery up. Tony's laps are very, very consistent today. 10 on the first lap, and he's currently on 9 at section 10. Nice effort there from Tony, able to climb to the top there. Tony Bow, of course, knocking on for 38 years old now. Well, no chance of him looking like he's going to be giving up the crown anytime soon. There it is, another clean from Tony Bow. As we look over to Adam Raga in section 12. Tony Bow leaves. And section 12 and Adam Raga now. This man today has rode out of his skin. Looking confident. Comfortable. And now stacking himself up for this monstrous step. No stranger to a big step though. Up to the rear tyre, look at that! Truly magnificent Adam Raga today. 42 years old, it's just a number, people. Life starts at 40. And driving that step as well. He wasn't going to let that beat him, not this far out for the end of the day. And a huge celebration there as Adam Raga stands on the second step of the podium. One step closer to the top, day by day. Congratulations to the Sherco team. Woo! They signed Adam Raga at the end of his career, so they thought. Riding the Blue Beast, Adam Raga has been able to, what can we say, really show just how good this new bike is. Incredible scenes there for Adam Raga aboard the Sherco. What can we say, he must like that bike. Congratulations from Albert Casanovas and the rest of the team. And a great day for Adam Raga. And for anybody that watches the sport thinking, am I too old? Hell no. This guy's an animal. Hard work beats talent when talent's hardly working, people. So a little overview there as we await the arrival of the HRC team at section 12 to a relaxed, happy and content Adam Raga. What a celebration we had here a second ago at the ends cards of section 12. Still receiving many an embrace from team manager Albert Casanovas. The fans, of course, enjoying the celebrations here at section 12. Let's see the end of the day. Adam Raga able to put Gabriel Marseille behind him today as well. Is this season going to revisit battles from the past between Raga and Bow? What a shake-up. Of course, Tony Bow has been classed above. Tony Bow composing himself, taking a quick drink before section 12. As the fans gather here at Motegi. and the mobility resort. And Tony checks out the live scoring from TrialGP. He knows he's won. 19 marks to the 25, so even if he fives this, he knows that the day is his, so the pressure is off. Next to back some showboating in section 12 from Tony Bow. And so it begins. The front back, stylish riding now. He'll want to finish this in style here at the home of HRC in front of the crowd of Motegi. So big step, here we go, section 12. Kicking off the first one, ricocheting off the second, on to the rear tyre hopefully, that's what we want to see, and that's what we've got. To the delight of the Japanese crowd. Step into front wheel, smoothly front back and up to the rear tyre. This is textbook right now. Not so much showboating, but just definitely getting the job done. Can we say this is a mature Tony Bow we're looking at right now? Today has been all about starting the campaign of his 18th world title. 18 years as world champion. And a huge lift there up to the top of that log. A little wobble, but Tony Bow, your winner of the entirety of the Tasai Rotec TrialGP of Japan. And we've kept up with all the action here on FIM-moto.tv. And there he is. The greatest trials rider of all time. So says the history books. Taking the win at the home of Honda. It's a HRC double win weekend for Tony Bow. Which also closes out the sections as he's congratulated by the Sherco team who came in second today. A lot of the Spanish riders there giving him congratulations. Yay! Of course, he's not just HRC's world champion, he is the sports world champion. So a quick rider-minder team photo. As always. And some happy fans as well. As the celebrations continue, as we start to await podium proceedings, and also Gabriel Marseille, who's yet to finish. Possibly some bike issues right now for Marseille.
Thank you.
As he'll be, well, the time is ticking, the clock's ticking, and he isn't here yet at section 12.
そして GP クラスはトニー・ボー選手はもうこれ暫定で優勝確定です。19、アダム・ラガ選手25までです。で今そのタイヤの交換が終わったらですね、この後戻ってくることになると思いますけれども、ガブリエル選手、昨日ガブリエル選手はなんかサイン会の時にこれ違いますね、はい、サイン会の時に靴脱いでブーツ脱いでサイン会やってたんですよ。やってましたね、はい、暑くなる、昨日暑かったからそうですね、暑くなるもんなんですね。
So as the clock continues to tick, we're waiting on some news on what's going on with Gabriel Marseille as well. And from the crash that he had on section 10, I'm now being told that there's been some damage to the HRC machine of Gabriel Marseille, which I'm very sure that the HRC team will be working tirelessly right now to try and fix those problems. Something that possibly the Scorpa team should have been keeping an eye on Berta Abayan today. But the damage is done. Sherco have taken the second spot behind Tony Bow's HRC team effort.
Enhorabuena.
Muchas gracias.
Tendrás al jefes contentos.
Joder, aquí millor que enlloc, eh?
Què li ha passat al Jordi?
Ha caigut a la 10.
A very calm
I aixafant no sé què de la moto ho estan canviant.
Tony Bow.
Ja ha pujat a la 10.
Who is?
Això s'ha acatat a sortir de no poder. Sí, s'està volant.
So after the crash that was had in section 10 that we saw earlier on of Gabriel Marseille, Gabriel hasn't actually restarted yet into section 11. And he is against the clock, the overall time as well. In place.
階段がもう人いっぱいで、はい。
いや嬉しいですよね。はい。来年はもうね、怪我治ったらぜひぜひ。
そうです。
So the HRC team looking very concerned as Gabriel Marseille has just arrived at section 12. As he looks down on the bike right now. And here is damage limitation time now for Gabriel Marseille.
5.55, ¿eh? Han hecho un 5. Vale. Lo tenemos
Marseille able to recover though, as in section 11 will clean that section. So no problem for the HRC factory rider.
Para Aitor. Vale. Abri.
He knows that he's finished on the podium. It doesn't matter if he fives this, he's still got third. And very valuable championship points. Him and Adam Raga will leave this weekend on the same point score. In the hunt for second behind Tony Bow. Nice and smooth there on the way in. Keeping it on the back wheel there, down the concrete though. So the fans getting behind him. Big step now for section 12, the first of two. See if that bike is firing on all cylinders. If he can make it to the top of this. Easy work going inside there as well. Opting to tap the front wheel on the way up. That was brave. I say brave, but he knows what he's doing. Extremely stylish riding there from Gabriel Marseille, showing no lack of confidence. Maybe it was a wobble in section 10. Absolutely stomping the last step though. And giving it on the back tail, all the way down to the floor with a heavy hit on the front wheel. Taking the third step of the podium, Gabriel Marseille. That's the end of his weekend here in Motegi. The Honda man still smiling. And a great start to the season. A HRC, Gabriel Marseille, and of course Takehisa Fujinami's team doing the work here in Japan.
Yeah! Hey, keep on!
But that man there, Adam Raga, has been able to fight off Gabriel Marseille, although Marseille will still be joining him on the podium, of course. Great effort from him this weekend. So some of the highlights now, as you can see, Benoit Bincaz finishing in 5th this weekend and flew through section 12. A little bit of whiskey troll, but well, Bincaz is no stranger to that. Like I said, if you keep up with him on social media, he's a bit wild. So Benoit Bincaz on the Sherco, putting in some great rides all weekend, as so too was Oelschlegel on his World Championship debut for TRS. Of course, taking the previous job as TRS number 1 rider from Adam Raga at the end of last season as he switched from the Beta after the re-arrival of Matteo Grattarola really took the limelight away from Aniol. But it's been a good move for him. Talking about good moves, that man's been full of them all weekend. Gabriel Marseille able to put together back-to-back fantastic rides, and on his second lap just 16 marks lost. Well, this man, Adam Raga, third yesterday, second today. Second best lap of the trial on his second lap of today of 11 marks. Only bettered by one man, the greatest rider of all time, Tony Bow. Well, Adam Raga has been on fire today. But if Adam Raga's on fire, this man is literally burning hotter than the sun. A rising sun of Japan suits Tony Bow very well indeed. A rare occasion where we saw his foot leave the peg, but he was able to recover from this, as it looked like the rain was going to start at one point in the day. But what can I say, the heat of Tony Bow was able to hold that at bay for another awesome win here in Japan. Tony Bow on the doorstep of Honda as he starts to look towards another successful 18th Trial GP World Championship title. It's early days in the championship, but there's the overall standings. Tony Bow from Adam Raga, Gabriel Marseille losing those marks at the end of the day, pushing back into the 30s from Oelschlegel and Benoit Bincas rounding out your top 5. Ushir goes in the top 5 there, great work from them. And then it's Matteo Grattarola on the B2 and 6 from Jaime Busto, who was able to salvage a bit of a better lap on the second lap. And Miguel Jalabert, Toby Martin and Hugo de Vries. Tough days for both Busto and Martin. We did expect more from him in all fairness after coming out of the indoor X12. But we'll be back soon with the podium. Up first, a few words from our sponsors.
What a lovely day.
Ni que lo digas. I think I might go for a swim. Who's joining?
Oh no guys, we need to go now.
Can I not go for my swim?
No, we need to go.
Ah, fine. I'll still beat them anyway.
So welcome back to the Tasai Road Tech Trial GP of Japan, and we're very quickly looking over the championship standings now for the second day here at the Trial GP in Japan. And this is the ladies class. We've got Emma Bristow from Andrea Sofia Rubino, Berta Abayan, your top 3. And then it's Naomi Monnier, Ice Minter, Denisa Petrikova, Elisa Pacheca, Caitlin Adshead, Alicia Robinson and Madeline Hoover to round out your top 10 in your standings for the result of the Trial GP women's class. And talking about Berta Abayan, who had a very, very tough day, Marieta is with her right now to see what she's got to say.
Berta Bellán, tell us what happened yesterday. ¿Qué ha pasado?
Pues hoy me sentía súper fuerte, tenía muchas ganas, estaba dando todo. La primera vuelta ha ido genial y la segunda ha empezado muy bien, pero un problema técnico me ha permitido hacer lo que quería, así que nada, este fin de semana he tenido muy mala suerte, espero que vaya mejor las próximas carreras, yo seguiré haciendo lo mismo y a dar el 100% siempre.
Gracias. Thank you very much, Berta. Berta was saying such a pity what happened today because she was riding so well. She had so much confidence, and then not her fault, just a technical problem with the bike after section 6. Left her without any option to fight for that victory that so much she deserved today. But good thing is how strong she was, how well she was riding, how much confidence she had, and if she could repeat that for next races, she can be back fighting for the win.
So here we go, a few highlights for Berta today. Berta Abayan starting so strong with an unbelievable first lap with only 2 marks lost. And in the first lap she looked unstoppable, absolutely unstoppable. She came with a fight today and unfortunately it just wasn't meant to be. But we're going to switch over to a woman who stayed composed all day. Marieta is with Andrea Sofia Rubino.
Andrea, P2 yesterday, P2 again today. Come ti senti?
Mi sento molto bene, sono molto contenta, ho commesso qualche errore di troppo al secondo giro, però niente, siamo riusciti a combattere e a ottenere il secondo posto. Ora lavoriamo per la prossima tappa di campionato mondiale.
Well, she's really happy and really pleased with that P2 on both Saturday and Sunday. Despite the mistakes earlier in lap 1, she was able to continue riding stronger with confidence. She knew she could finish P2, and that's what she did, and she hopes to continue training like that, preparing like that, to fight again for, at the very least, a second position at the next event.
So Andrea Sofia Rubino was able to capitalise on Berta Abayan's troubles in her second lap, but not taking that away from her fantastic riding all day. Composed, calm, collected, and the Italian Peter rider really did put the work in today and has done throughout the winter, and it shows. So a woman who stayed content and calm and took the win now, Emma is with Marieta.
Emma, did you expect to finish on top today after what happened in lap 1?
Yeah, I had 2 bad fives on the first lap again. Overall, I felt like I was riding well, so I was a little bit frustrated. But no, I think it's important never to give up. I think that marks my 50th GP win and unbeaten here in Japan. So it's nice to leave Japan unbeaten. So yeah, I'm happy and a great start to the championship.
Well, congratulations to our queen of trial for that amazing personal record.
Thank you.
A milestone win for Emma Bristow today. 50 TrialGP wins under her name, and she deserves every single one of them. Starting the day with a couple of small mistakes, but what can we say, she didn't make any after that, and she was able to pile the pressure on Berta Abayan, and the Sturco came on top of the scoreboard at the end of the day. Leaving Japan unbeaten and with the championship lead, Emma Bristow is on track for another title so far in the championship. And there are the championship standings. Emma Bristow from Andrea Sofia Rubino was second in the point. Berta Abayan on the scoreboard. Naomi Monnier, Alice Minter rounding out your top 5 from Denisa Pechkova, which was a fantastic debut for her. From Maddie Hoover, who's been able to squeeze it through Brits, Caitlin Ershed and Alicia Robinson and this player. And down at the tail end, we have Alessia Piquetta, who had a better ride today from Martina Galliani in the same point. Obviously, Piquetta was able to finish to get to the final. The gas they all had a team. And now, today's official result. for day 2 of the FIM TrialGP of Japan. With Tony Bow, Adam Raga and Gabriel Marseille making out top 3. A little bit close to the board today for top 2 positions with Oelschlegel and Benoit Vincas running out in top 5. So that's all that I'm able to Oelschlegel pretty much to run out. And now we're going to go straight over to Gabriel Marseille with Marieta down at stage.
Gabriel Marcelli, what a nail-biting end of lap 2. You finished on the podium despite that upset. What happened?
Well, today I think went pretty good as well. Not as good as yesterday, but quite decent, quite good. There are some good points for the standings of the championship, so I'm happy with that. It's a shame I had a small problem on section 10, but anyway, I'm super happy with the whole weekend. P2 and P3, I think it's a strong weekend, and as I said, good points for the championship.
Can you elaborate a bit more on what happened in section 10?
Well, basically the rear tire went out of the ring, so at the last step I couldn't make it basically. So yeah, I dropped with a 5, and yeah, there are big points, and when sections are a little bit easy, this kind of 5s are quite expensive.
Thank you very much.
So a crash for Gabriel Marseille, the end of the day, cost him seconds, and also the pressure off Adam Raga, but what can I say, he kept the pressure on Marseille all day. Tidy riding all day for Marseille though. What he takes away from his technical improvement in both consistency, and you can see he's training hard from the winter until the final campaign. Absolutely fantastic riding from Marseille today at the home of Honda. But somebody who really was on fire is Adam Raga. Adam Raga right now is with Marieta.
Avança't tu si d'això, vale?
Adam, what can we say about today? Like from podium to P2?
Brutal. I cannot say many things. I was riding very good all day. I only make like one big mistake each lap, and I was thinking maybe today is possible to get the victory. So I fight a lot, and finally second place is fantastic. So I am very happy.
Do you ever imagine that you could achieve what you have done this weekend with Sherco?
Yeah, well, I can dream it, and also was like my goal to get close to the podium, to make podiums, but you know, 2 in a row on the first race, it's already a lot, so I'm happy.
Congratulations, amazing effort.
Great riding there from Adam Raga. Professional in the TrialGP class, and in his own words, brutal. Absolutely awesome riding. What can we say? This man has been on fire all weekend. The Schnicker is doing well. And we're hoping to see more of the same for the rest of the championship. But now, over to the King of Trials, we can 2 wins in the double here in Japan. Ready, Bo.
Unbeatable again here in Motegi. You have made so many Japanese and Honda fans happy today.
Yeah, I'm super happy with the weekend. Best start of the season is impossible on the home with these fantastic fans in Japan. It's always very special. So super happy about the weekend.
And how do you feel with your riding out in the sections today?
Hey, I feel good. Some mistakes, a little more than yesterday, but I feel good with the bike. I feel good in the end of the race. Very concentrated, the team working perfect, so I'm super happy.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So Tony Bow showing his strength, his prowess, and what can we say, starting the championship exactly the way he wants. With tiny mistakes, like he said, but nothing to put this guy off. He was glued to the pegs for the majority of the day, and his riding was once again just a level above anyone else's. Not sure about the goggles though on the podium. I think they may, maybe it's a health and safety issue for the champagne that he just gets so much in his eyes over the years. So there we go, the official championship standings as we leave the Tatai Rotec TrialGP of Japan. It's Tony Bow taking the full 40 points from the weekend from Adam Raga and Gabriel Marseille, matched on 32 points apiece from Oelschlegel in 4th, Benoit Vincas and Matteo Grattarola then going down to 7th where Jaime Busto is. who's never been that low in, a number of years now. Toby Martin in 8th, Michael Jalabert on the vertigo behind him, and Hugo de Vries in 10th. Just 12 points from the weekend. But great to have him in the TrialGP class, as I'm sure that young gun will be gaining quite a lot of experience this weekend. As we now wait and start the podium proceedings for the weekend, the first class will be, of course,
Thank you for waiting,
the Trial
everyone.
2
Welcome
prize
to the
giving.
prize giving ceremony for day 2 of Taisei Radek TrialGP Japan. We start with Trial 2 class. 第3位に入りましたのは in the third place, Electric Motion, Gaël Chataigneau from France.
So another fantastic result for Gaël Chataigneau aboard the Electric Motion. 2 podiums for Electric Motion this weekend.
続いて第2位に
Second
入りま
and
し
a
たのは
third for those guys. And Gaël Chataigneau made the jump to electric, of course, from Sherco some number of years ago.
And the winner of the day, a big congratulations to Sherco.
Alex Canales on the Sherco, another Sherco on the podium there. And in first place, Jack Peace aboard the Sherco. Incredible weekend for those guys. That bike really does ride well. And so, too, do their riders.
CEO of Taisei Radek Corporation, Mr. Yoshinori Nishida, will present the trophy to each rider.
So, the chairman and CEO of Taisei Rotec Corp, Yoshinori Nishida, to give out the prizes.
おめでとうございます。そして約1年ぶりの勝利、ジャック・ピース選手
Alex
におめ
Canales
でとう
there, missed out on the podium yesterday, but he was able to climb to it today.
皆様ありがとうございました。続きまして、今大
Jack
会
Peace
の
there,
ご協力をいた
the
だいてお
Brit,
ります。茂木町副町長、
putting it on top of the box. Narrowly missed out on the championship win last year. So is now campaigning hard this season to become world champion in Trial 2.
Mr. Masahiro Ozaki giving support to this event.
Podium flowers now.
Ozaki さんありがとうございました。続きまして今大会のご講演をいただいております羽黒石材商工業協同組合代表理事長谷川正一様より羽黒青ぬ亀石で作られました石の盾が優勝選手に贈られます。
Many prizes to award this weekend. A piece of granite from Motegi, which says on the back of it, respect for your effort.
では優勝しましたジャック・ピース選手の栄誉を祝しま
An
して
incredible array of prizes there.
皆様ご脱帽をお願いいたし
Atop
ま
of
す
the podium here, the TrialGP of Japan,
Please take your caps off.
as we await the national anthem.
Congratulations. では続きまして FIM トライアル委員会ディレクターティエリ・ミショー様よりアイローのプレートがランキングリーダーに贈られます。And now, Mr. Thierry Michaud, Trial Commission Director, will present the plate by Idol to the current leader of Trial 2 class.
So the series leader plate now will be switching over
さあ
to
では
Jack
皆様
Peace
揃っていただきましてフォトセッションに移ってまいります。
and awarded from Tony Michaud, previous trial world champion, of course.
どうぞ大きな拍手をお送りください。
And there we have it, the podium for the Trial 2 class here in Motegi. Del Chategno from Alex Canales and of course Jack Pease
よろしい
on
で
the
しょうか。
Shirko.
ありがとうございました。ではプレゼンターの皆様、一旦ご講談をお願い申し上げます。続きまして3選手にノンアルコールスパークリングが贈られます。 Next, the 3 riders will then receive a bottle of non-alcohol sparkling wine.
So the champers has been replaced for some non-alcoholic sparkling wine on the podium here at Motegi.
Alright, okay, here we go!
Don't want to waste the champagne, I think. It just doesn't work as well, boys, and you've run out already.
表彰台の3選手ご紹介いたしたいと思います。まず第3位に入りましたのはイレクトリックモーションガエル・シャガニュー選手、おめでとうございます。そして第2位はシェルコアレックス・カナレス選手、おめでとうございます。そしてウィナーはシェルコジャック・ピース選手、おめでとうございます。もう一度どうぞ大きな拍手をお送りください。 Please give them a big round of applause. さあそれでは以上をもちまして FIM ハーツトライアル世界選手権第1戦
So there we have it, Trial 2.
トライアル2クラス2日目の
As a championship, that's really going to heat up this season now. We've got the electric trials bikes in there as well.
Day 2 of Taisei Rodex Trial Japan Class 2 class.
So the next class up on the podium will of course be the Trial GP women's category. Where we'll see the same faces on the podium as yesterday and in the same order. Which was quite the shock result, but well, this commentator did say you can never hold Emma Bristow down. She's patient.
それではただいまより2024ハーツ FIM トライアル世界
Our
選手
DJ
権
there
第1戦
opting for a bit of
日本グ
U2.
ランプリトライアル GP ウーマンクラス2日目の表彰式を行います。We will now start the prize giving ceremony for day 2 of Taisei Rodex Trial GP Japan with Trial GP Women Class. まず第3位に入りましたのは In the third place Sculpa Belta Abelan from Spain.
So in third place, surprisingly after lap 1, still smiling though, Berta Abayan.
From Italy. そして見事優勝で
Had
飾
a
り
few
ました
issues
の
with that
は
bike in lap 2. When we say issues, it lost to the day. But
Bristow from the UK.
Andrea Sofia Rubino on the second step. From this lady, Emma Bristow.
それでは初めに大西ロテック株式会社
The
代表取締
50th
役会
GP
長
win
西
as
田
well.
義則様より
So
3選手にトロフィ
congratulations
ーが
to
贈られます
and
First of all,
fantastic
Chairman
success through the years.
CEO of Taisei Rodex Corporation, Mr.
There's no other word for it,
Yoshinori
the woman is a
Nishida will
legend.
present the trophy to each rider. さあまずはベルタ選手に贈ら
So
れます。おめでとう
Yoshinori
ござい
Nishida
ます
there, Chairman and CEO of the Tosai Rotec Group.
続いてアンドレア選手に贈られます。おめで
With
とう
our
ございま
prize
す。
givings
そしてエマ
for
選手
third,
に
second and first.
贈られます。おめでとうございます。西田様ありがとうございました。続きまして今大会のご講演をいただいております茂木町副町長尾崎正弘様よりチャンピオンフラワーが3選手に贈られます。Next,
Taking the win.
champion flowers will be given to the 3 riders by the Vice Mayor of Motegi Town, Mr. Masahiro Ozaki, giving support to this event.
So the flowers there, given from the Vice Mayor of the Motegi Town.
Ozaki 様ありがとうございました。続きまして今大会のご講演をいただいております羽黒石材商工業協同組合代表理事長谷川昭一様より羽黒青の亀石で作られた石の盾が優勝戦。長谷川 Union President of the Harrow Stone Manufacturers Cooperative Association will present a shield made of stone which have been using in various sections this weekend to winner. 長
And so the winner also receiving a special award from local stone manufacturers.
We'd like to present national anthem of the winner. Please take your
I'm sure
caps
that Emma has seen plenty of that granite over the weekend.
Congratulations! さあ続きまして FIM トライアル委員会ディレクター TR ミショー様よ
So
り
the Queen of Trials, Emma Bristow, 50th TrialGP win and also the overall win, and now series leader plate handed to her from Terry Michaud, of course, once again.
To the current leader of TR Women class, Emma Bristow.
And there we have it, Terry Michaud handing over the TrialGP Women's leader plate.
Would you like to have a brief photo session, riders? さあそれではどうぞ大きな拍手をお送りください。
As we sort out the penultimate photo session here in Motegi and await the podium proceedings for the TrialGP men's class.
ありがとうございました。
Well, right now, all about those three ladies as we go into the next round, which will of course be in Andorra. You can join us between the 7th and 9th of June for the San Julia de Loria round of the TrialGP of Andorra. So don't forget to stay tuned in for that here on FIM-moto.tv.
Riders, all right, here we go!
As our ladies
Podium が参戦して
fill the bubbly, which I was told earlier on, not champagne, but a non-alcoholic sparkling wine. Just take all the fun out of things nowadays, don't they?
The runner, Marieta, Andrea, Sofia, Rabino, and then the big congratulations to the winner,
Can't wait for the French round, but they'll have champagne. To the mighty Emma Bristow there. On the top step, exactly where she deserves to be. Great, consistent riding all weekend, and a very different style of riding as well, of that from what she experienced up in the Scottish 6 days. Oelschlegel as a brand was able to take the win once again there also, with former TrialGP rider Jack Price taking the winner there. Oh, there we go, Donna Fox has reappeared. Emma is, she's just so bougie nowadays. She doesn't even go and get her own bike. The job of a minder is never over. So you'll actually say that you'll be somebody's minder, that means you're literally their day-to-day carer. And Donna did a sterling job indeed. Unbeatable team are to our Donna Fox and Emma Bristow. A great start to the season, and now Carlos Bonetta pushing the fantastic HRC machinery of Tony Bow onto the stage. That man looks like he is absolutely loving it. As we await the podium proceedings, just check that out. Absolute engineering prowess there. The HRC machine of Tony Bow, the greatest rider of all time. Aboard that HRC machinery there, which is equally one of the most iconic bikes
それではただいまより
also.
2024ハーツ FIM トライアル世界選手権第1戦大西ロテック日本グランプリトライアル GP クラス
Shirko Japan
2日目の
team
表
there,
彰式
climbing
を
around
行いま
the
す
Shirko
We'll now
factory
start the
team.
prize giving ceremony for day 2 of Taisei Rotek TrialGP Japan of TrialGP class 第3位に入りましたのは in the third place Montesa Gabriel Mauseri from Spain 続いて第2位になりましたのは
Gabriel Mauseri.
Shelko Adam Braga
And a couple of issues at the end of the day, but what can we say? Back on the podium, great work for his championship hope. Marseille in third, currently in joint second, and the points with this man, Adam Raga. What a ride from Raga this weekend. Absolutely stellar effort from him. And that man there was untouchable. Absolutely untouchable. Tony Bow, doing the double.
First of all,
2 days,
Chairman
2 wins,
CEO of Taisei Rotek Corporation,
40
Mr.
championship
Yoshinori
points.
Nishida will present the trophy to each
Once
rider.
again, the main prize giving from Chairman CEO of the Thai Rotek Corporation.
アダム選手、久しぶりの2位
Mr.
獲
Ishida
得。
there.
そして KO はやっぱり強かった。昨年から5大会連続2レースとも勝っております。ポー選手に贈られました。
And as Tony Bow mentioned, a very special place to win is Japan at the home of Honda. Just over Tony Bow's right shoulder, the Gas logo is looming. So there's some work done in that camp, I'm very sure, before we go back to Andorra. Andorra also at some very dizzying heights, which would makes it very difficult to jet the carbureted bikes. Whereas the fuel-injected bikes, well, they always run a bit better in Andorra. Also, Andorra, the home of Tony Bow. That man there will be excited to be riding at his home venue.
長谷川翔一様より羽黒青ぬ亀石で作られた石の盾が優勝選手に贈られます。Mr. Shoichi Hasegawa, Union
Tony Bow
President
now being
of the
awarded some of that
Hakuno
granite that he was so
Manufacturers
fond of riding
Cooperative
over today.
Association will present a shield made of stone which have been using in various sections this week and 2 winners. 長谷川様ありがとうございました。それでは優勝しましたトニー・ボー選手の栄誉を尽くして国歌演奏です。
plaque made from the same stone as in the
We'd like to play the
sections.
national anthem
Another
of the
cool
winner,
trophy, that's
Tony
well
Bow.
cool.
So please take your caps off. Congratulations.
And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Tony Bow at top of the top step of the podium once more as he starts to lead the championship into 2024 and receives the red plate from Thierry Michaud. The perfect start to his 18th World Championship season. And the perfect start to our season here at fim-moto.tv, where you can keep up with all of the action of the championship throughout the season. And stay with us, of course, because we will be back in Andorra. But first, a bit of feeling down at the podium as we catch up and say goodbye to Marieta. Marieta, are you down at the podium?
Thank you so much. プレゼンターの皆様ありがとうございました。どうぞご観覧ください。では続きまして3選手にスパークリングワインが贈られます。The three riders will then receive a bottle of sparkling wine.
Danny, what an amazing weekend. I'm going to agree with you on the fact that Adam Braga was the man of the weekend, putting that circle on the podium and on P2 at 42. Impressive. But can I also say, for me, woman of the weekend, Berta Bellan, because the confidence we saw from her out of the sections today. What happened was the bike. It wasn't her fault. I think Berta today showed a confidence and riding skills we had not seen yesterday. We didn't always see last weekend. But also, winners today, Motegi and the Japanese fans. We had over 11,000 people here yesterday. I'm sure even more than that today. What a great show. What an amazing party.
And a party indeed in Motegi, and a party we've been having here on fim-moto.tv. But you can stay with us for all of the action of the entire 2024 Hertz FIM Trial World Championship with us here throughout the season. So make sure that you're on board. If you're not at the events, then be with us here live on fim-moto.tv. But for now, it's goodbye from me and goodbye from all the team as we wrap up and the celebrations start for that match here in Japan. Thanks, guys. Great today.